And I'm going to give you some solutions on how to deal with it. And this is probably going to change your life forever just by doing this alone. Okay, so the first thing you need to understand about depression is that it exists in your conscious mind. It exists in your thinking mind. So what is inside your thinking mind? You have your body, your name, your reputation, your trauma, your memories, your family, your worries, your interests, your bills, your passion, dislikes, goals, right? Most people identify their lives with this. They identify their lives with their thinking mind. They think they're their name, their job, their reputation, their memories. But this is not who you actually are. Who you actually are is the observer of that. What happens if you stop thinking? What is left? You're left with unconditioned consciousness. You're left with the self, which is what we refer to as I. We are the consciousness, not the thinking consciousness. You are not these labels. You are not your thoughts. You are not your job, your name, your reputation. Okay? And the reason why I'm telling you this is because it's very important, is that we are something beyond this body, beyond this name, beyond our thoughts. We are the consciousness. So depression exists inside of the thinking mind, the conscious mind. Okay? So if you want to get rid of depression, you must learn how to escape the thinking mind. And not only just escape, but that's step one. In meditation, you do meditations, right? We sit still and we have to learn how to control the mind and turn off the thoughts. And when we turn off the thoughts, depression goes out the window because there's no thought present in your mental field of consciousness to be depressed. Okay? You must understand, who is the one suffering from the negative thoughts? Who is the one suffering? Your mind is not suffering because the mind is producing the thoughts. Your body's not suffering from the negative thoughts. You are suffering. And who is you? You are a soul. You are that feeling. You are that person beyond the thoughts, beyond the feelings, beyond that. You are the one experiencing. You are that. Meditation gives us the ability to turn off the thinking mind. This allows us to escape our thoughts, okay? And it gives us, over a long period of time after meditation, you'll be able to turn this switch, and this switch will be able to turn off your thoughts. And by doing this, we will be able to control our conscious mind directly by the hand. So when you notice yourself gaining them negative thoughts, we can then turn off the switch of turning off the conscious mind and rising to our authentic self and knowing the thoughts are just illusions. Now, let me tell you something that's very powerful. Most of your thoughts are coming from beliefs. Most of your feelings are coming from beliefs. So if you have a feeling of lack, this is coming from a belief that you don't have much. If you are feeling alone, this is coming from a belief that you are alone. So what we must do is restructure ourselves. We must restructure the subconscious mind. And we do this in many different ways. We can do this with meditation. We can do this with visualization, visualizing our desired reality as if we are living it. We can do this with affirmation. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I'm trying to speak something into existence with affirmation. No, you're not using vibration to try and change reality with what a lot of these new age people will teach you. Vibration, your words will not have much an impact on reality. That's the truth. But what they do have an impact on is reprogramming and recrafting and refining your mind. If you repeat, I am wealthy all day long, your subconscious mind, that word will be lingering inside your subconscious and you will start to mold that into your conscious. You'll start to be consciously thinking about this. Most of your thoughts are coming from your subconscious. So if you want to get rid of depression, you got to figure out the trigger. What are you depressed about? What are you feeling? What are the beliefs that are making you feeling and thinking this way? And that's what you must restructure. You must restructure your subconscious mind through visualization, meditation, and affirmation. You do these all the time. You do these every single day, and you will slowly, if not surely, restructure your subconscious mind. While by doing the practice of meditation, you'll gain the off switch as well. Sometimes depression comes from not living in your authentic self. You're not doing the things that your soul is telling you to do. We all know what we should be doing at all times. I don't care what you have on. We all know we should be doing something. We all know that we have there's a higher aspect of our mind that tells us, oh, we need to be doing this, but I'm actually sat here on my phone. Oh, I shouldn't be eating this, but I'm doing it anyway. There's always that higher voice. And that is the voice that has to be connected to. And when your body's not acting out the voice of the soul, then the soul becomes sadder, and suffers more and more and more. There has to be a connection between the soul, the mind, and the body. They have to work in unison. Okay? So I hope this video helps with depression, with whatever you're going through mentally.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another lecture inside Ethereal University. In this lecture, you will learn about the death process and how to prepare for it, and why that preparation is so important. So let's get straight into this. You must understand, as a spiritual creature that you are, you have a visible nature and an invisible nature. You never truly die. You are an eternal soul experiencing a temporary physical world. The inner world of thought and emotion is eternal, while the outer world of matter is mortal. Everything that is seen is mortal. Everything that is unseen by the eyes is immortal. When you die, your external physical world will be stripped away, leaving only your pure consciousness in its raw form, drifting within the astral plane. So here you see your physical external body and your internal world. And your internal world is your state of consciousness. It's your state of consciousness. Your thought and emotion is one overall state. Okay? So you must understand these planes. You have the physical body, the etheric double, an astral body, a mental body, and the Buddhic body. When you die, you leave the physical plane. Then you will more than likely leave the etheric plane, because the ether acts as like a portal. Everything comes out of the ether and returns back to the ether. I can break that down in another video in electromagnetism. But electromagnetism is ether, energy coming in and out of the ether. You will, every single day you die, every single day. There's a cycle of life and death occurring all the time. Every single day, you go to sleep, you go back, your consciousness slips back through the ether, and then when you wake up, your consciousness comes back through the ether into the physical plane. Death is just a bigger macrocosm of the microcosm cycle of life and death. So you will return back to the astral, which is the realm of imagination, infinite possibilities, and this is where thought forms start to manifest. Okay, so depending on how advanced you actually are mentally and emotionally, will depend how long you stay in the astral. Now, what we must understand is that there is many different components to the astral. We have the higher astral, the middle astral, and the lower astral. These are all vibrational states. So if your mind and soul is operating in lust, lust, desire, hate, food, physical addiction, smoking addictions, then these are quite heavy. These are quite heavy attachments to your consciousness, and they're quite low level desire, which means they have a low vibration. You will manifest in the lower astral when you're stripped from your physical body. The lower astral is not inherently evil. However, there's just low vibrating things going on there. Low vibration does not mean evil. Okay? So, just like bad doesn't mean evil. Okay? In the lower astral, you are going to see lower astral beings. You're going to see spirits, souls with low level desire. Okay? people who are attached to the physical plane, people that lust, people that do these things. Technically, this is hell, but you can escape it by escaping yourself. Now we're going to break all this down. I'll break all this down properly once you understand the full context. So depending on your level of desire, you will manifest in a corresponding layer of the astral plane. If your mind is still attached to the low physical desires, you will find yourself in the lower astral realms. But if you have few desires and have detached from the worldly attachments while you are encased in a body, then you will rise into a higher or middle astral plane, mainly the middle. Okay. The higher astral plane is very formless. So as I broke down here, this is, well, the physical plane is the lowest dimension. This is the most form, the most matter. It's quite heavy. The higher you go, the lighter it becomes, the more fluid, the more formless it becomes. So you see here it says denser down and lucidic up. So this is more lucidic in these higher realms. This is more dense in the lower realms. So this is why the ancient Egyptians were always talking about, I'll show you this. This is showing you death. So first of all, we have Anubis, which represents death. Here you have the heart, which represents the soul. And here you have a feather. And this is a scale. You see how this is a balanced scale? So what this is symbolizing, this represents death. This represents your heart, and this is a feather. So when you die, your heart must be as light as a feather, which means your emotions, your soul, should have no attachments to the world. It should be light. It should be detached. This is why the word light and light are the same. Light is in heavy and light is in very bright. Because when you're less attached to the things, your soul shines. You're authentic. You're light. You're very bright soul. And you have no attachments. Your light is in not heavy. So you must detach from the worldly desires. We have to detach from the smoking, the food. This is why we should fast. Smoking, this is why we should detox. We should also meditate. We should also be able to sit with ourselves for long periods of times. Okay, I'm going to break all this down properly. But that's why the Egyptians show you the symbolism here. Okay. So you're stripped of your material body. So that state of consciousness you're in right now, your inside world, if you shut your eyes, that state you're in, that is what you're going to experience when you die. Okay. And you're going to be manifested into the astral. In the physical plane, you can mask or hide almost anything. But in the spiritual realm, you cannot. The astral body, your thoughts and emotions directly shape your spiritual body, your astral body, revealing your true inner state. So your desires that you can hide in the physical plane, your emotions, your thoughts, you can't hide any of that in the spiritual plane, in the astral plane. That will directly shape who you are, your color of your astral body, and your astral body as a whole. So here we have Kim Kardashian. If you could see this lady's astral body, you would run so far that you would be horrified for the rest of your life. If you could see their spirit, their astral form, it would be horrific because their mind is so attached to, physical things, so attached to desire, money, fame, worship, power. These people do not want to die. These billionaires and millionaires will never want to die. They will do whatever they can to stay alive because they understand what when they die, they have to face themselves. They have to face their inner world. And their astral body, their true authentic self on the inside is horrible and horrific and so low vibration. So this is where it comes in. You must be as light as a feather. This is what the Egyptians are showing you in their artwork. Your soul must be as light as a feather. In order for the soul to ascend to a higher plane and not look at that physical plane and say, I want to go back or I want to desire things down there, you must detach now and prepare for death. Hell is not a place, it's your own personal suffering born from within. If your mind and soul are deeply attached to mental fixations, emotional wounds, and physical addictions tied to the material world, that pain will follow you into the astral. This is your true judgment day. You judge yourself when you die. You see your authentic self. There's no hiding. Right. Imagine right now that you that everything you cling to was stripped away. No matrix, no electricity, no food, no TikTok, no phone, no possessions, no distractions, no one else. Could you sit alone with yourself for just 1 hour? Could you sit alone with your thought and emotion? That moment of truth is what you must begin to prepare for. Could you sit alone with yourself? Can you sit alone for long periods of time and just think? And if you cannot, then you're running from your internal world. You're running from your thoughts. You're distracting yourself from your thoughts. This is what we must address. Now, don't feel bad if this is you. We've all have problems. We all have internal problems. But this is what we have to face directly in order to prepare for life after death. We must meditate for long periods of time. Not even meditation. We should be able to sit with ourselves with no distractions and just think. This is what the people of the past used to do when we had no technology. People would sit and think for hours. This is what we need. Because if you cannot sit with yourself, imagine sitting with yourself with no physical body. That's the level that's going to happen. And we need to prepare for that. The soul and mind must become as light, as weightless, as radiant as a feather to ascend to a higher plane and move beyond the physical life. To rise, they must release heaviness, attachments, burdens, fears, and desires. The lighter and brighter your inner being becomes, the more freely it can rise into a higher state of existence. Ascension is not about going somewhere, it's about becoming something pure, clear, and luminous. Okay, this is very important. Very, very important. We must detach from the worldly things. So, enough of that. How do we do it? How do we attach? How do we prepare? Number one, you must detach from the material things. Start loosening your grip on things, possessions, titles, even identities. They are temporary. Appreciate them, but don't let them define you. Let nothing outside of you define you. Nothing. Your name is not you. Your job is not you. Your reputation is not you. Your bad past is not you. Your good past is not you. Your business is not you. Everything outside of you is not you. Now, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying go full right-hand path and never care about anything physical, never care about your family, don't love your family. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, love these things, love these outside things, but do not become attached and do not let them define you. You must be okay with losing anything that is outside of you. You must be okay with that because you must understand the physical plane it's promised that everything is temporary. Everything is temporary in this plane. So don't ever think it's going to be there forever because it's not. And you must remind yourself, not remind yourself, but I think about this sometimes when I start becoming a bit attached to work and stressed. I just remind myself that I'm going to, this is temporary. I'm going to leave this world one day and I'm not going to care. So you must have the balance. Okay. The balance is key. You can go down that right hand path and just fully cut off from the world like a monk and shave off your hair, disconnect from the physical world. You can do that. That's not wrong. There's different paths in life. You have the left-hand path, purely physical. You have the middle path, which is balance between the physical and spiritual. Then you have the right-hand path, which is monk mode, where you fully disconnect from the world. They shave their hair off to disconnect from the physicality. They meditate for long periods of time. This is what they're doing. They're preparing for death. Monks prepare for death. They understand this. They understand that you don't die. Your inner world is the true world. The inner world is the only world that exists. Everything outside of you is an extension of you. Number 2, cleanse the mind. Watch your thoughts. Are they rooted in fear, anger, regret, or craving? Meditation, mindfulness, and inner reflection help purify the mind. The cleaner your thoughts, the lighter your spirit. So your astral body is formed by your thoughts. It's formed by your emotions. If you sit around thinking about eating all day, you're going to have a very heavy astral body. It's going to manifest in the lower planes. But if your mind is thinking about good things with good intentions, love, knowledge, expansion, you're going to manifest even the middle or the higher. And there are ways to even ascend out of your astral body. Yes, you can ascend out of your astral body and out of the mental body, but that's all very advanced, and I'm not going to teach that yet. I'll make another video on that, but you can ascend from them bodies. The astral plane is not the end. You can keep ascending as a soul until you're left with just the pure essence of the soul. But we're going to, anyways, cleanse the mind, reprogram the limiting belief systems, let go of mental attachments. And the way you do this is by getting a piece of paper and writing down every single attachment that you have. And you're going to realize, dude, there's more than you think. Okay. We have to detach from these. We have to. 4, practice presence. Can you sit in silence with yourself? The more at ease you are with your own inner being, the less you'll fear death. The afterlife is just an extension of your inner world. It's so important. This is so, so important. Can you sit with yourself? If you cannot sit with yourself, you have some inner work to do. You have some thoughts to address, some beliefs to address, and some feelings to address. Okay, so practice sitting in the present, meditation, or just literally sit there and try and be okay with yourself. And if you can't be okay with yourself, then there's something you need to address, whether it's a belief system, whether it's an emotional trauma, or something. This is what we must reshape, refine, and let go of. Live truthfully, speak and act from your soul, not from fear or ego. The more authentic you are, the more aligned you become with your true self, which carries beyond this life. The ego is your mind's perception of itself while being incarnated in this world. It's been shaped by your experiences, your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions. So your ego is basically this false thought form that you've created. It's a false layer of yourself that sits on top of your true authentic self. It's basically your physical character. When you were young, you had no ego. You were pure. You had a pure consciousness. But then as you grew older, your ego started to grow, and it still is growing because it was shaped by experiences, things you've gone through, things you've said, things you believe, things you think. It's created by you, by your mind. And the ego is close to the word echo. The ego is the echo. It's an echo. It's a layer. It's a false identity. It's a false layer that sits on top of your soul. And if you don't get rid of that ego, if you don't know how, well, not get rid of it, but balance it. If you don't know how to rise above that ego and you die, it's that ego that's going to be pulling down when you die. It's that ego that's going to be your suffering. Okay. 7, connect with the divine, whether through prayer, meditation, tune into something greater than yourself. The connection is the soul's compass beyond this world. If you can meditate and rise above them clouds of thought, that's the soul, that's the observer. we must connect with that. Okay, this will definitely help with just allowing yourself to connect with your true self. Meditation's great because you can just fully detach from the world. And the more you meditate, the more you can prepare for death. A powerful way to cultivate detachment is through daily detachment meditation, done either at night or in the morning or the first breath upon waking. Or do this as many times as possible per day. Start by physically grounding yourself in the present moment. Say out loud, I am here right now, nothing else matters. Let that phrase draw your awareness into the now. Just keep saying it until you're present. Then begin to slowly list everything you identify yourself with, one by one. I am not your body. I am not my body. I am not my name. I am not my possessions. I am not my house. I'm not my children. I'm not my everything. I am not my thoughts. Release each layer gently. Imagine if you want to, if you have a good imagination, imagine placing these things into a big box. Placing your body, placing your name, placing your possessions, placing your house, your car, your thoughts, your beliefs into a box, and then shut that box. If you have a good imagination, do that. That can help. And you'll be left with yourself. And you're not even that. It goes even deeper. Eventually, you'll reach the mind itself. Detach from the language that the mind is even using. Now, that's very difficult. And not many people have ever thought about that, and they've ever even been there. Detach from the language that the mind is using. Think about that for a second. Your mind is not what you actually think. It goes very deeper. Your mind is not that little voice. It's that voice that the language is using. So even the language is a spell on your mind. Okay, it's an attachment. Eventually, you'll reach the mind itself, detached from the language it uses, the voice in your head, the need to define. What remains is something beyond thought and beyond words. I can't even describe what's left because words, once the language is gone, it's purely metaphysical. All I can say is pure awareness, and it's symbolized. This is why symbols are so amazing because they can symbolize things that are beyond words. A flame, it's just a flame, and you won't be able to understand that until you've been there. It's just a flame. It's pure cause. Words can't describe it. You'd have to experience it. Connect with this essence daily. This is truly who you are. So this is a great way to detach. We can do these detachments every single day during meditation. This will definitely help over long periods of time. Of course, you're not going to be ready tomorrow for death, but just try and prepare for these things. This is the whole reason people used to meditate. It's the whole reason why people do these spiritual practices, because they understood that this plane is temporary and your soul moves on from this plane. And you'll never truly believe in the soul until you experience it. So I can show you these things, but you must go out and experience it. The soul is real, but you won't understand unless you cast off everything else. Okay. So I hope this video helps. It's a very deep video. I'm going to be making more of these stuff, of more self-mastery. And of course, we've made the self-mastery section now. So I'm going to start filling up this place with lectures. And I think it's a great time to start this because a lot of people have been asking on how to master yourself, prepare to death. So hope this video helps. See you in the next one. What if I told you that reincarnation is real and that there is a metaphysical, spiritual science behind this? Most people leave this world just as lost when they entered it. That they carry their fears, attachments, and addictions with them, only to be born again, trapped in the same cycle, repeating the patterns of lifetime after lifetime. This lecture is not just about preparing for death. It's about mastering yourself before death, so you don't take them burdens with you. Because the truth is, whatever addictions, fears, and unresolved emotions you cling to in this life, you carry with you into the next, unless you break free now. You must master yourself before death. Death is not the end. It is the great passage. But how we transition depends on our mastery of the self. This was symbolized by the Ouroboros, the snake biting its tail. Every ending is a new beginning. It's an infinite cycle of consciousness. Now, your human body is basically an antenna tapped in to a stream of consciousness. Just like a radio is tapped into a specific frequency to play that radio. Your body is basically an antenna, a crystal picking up the consciousness of God. You are on an ever-ending journey, a journey of learning and expansion of the mind into new fields of thought. This was symbolized as the Ouroboros. When you die, it is a new beginning. It's a transitioning, not an ending. Everything is eternal in this universe as consciousness is formless and constantly transforms into new forms of life. Let's break down the word death. Death contains the word ether. Now, the ether can be found in the word heart or earth. Ether. Everything in this plane comes from the etheric plane. The etheric plane is the barrier between the physical plane and the spiritual plane, the astral plane. The astral plane is the screen that you have in your mind that allows you to imagine a red apple, for example. This is the imaginative plane where thought forms start to take form. Everything begins as a thought, then the thought form becomes an imagination, then energy, then physical. Everything in the physical plane is a shadow of thought, all objects manifested as thought. You came from the astral. You came from the stars. This is why we say reach for the stars. Or this is why you say you are a star. Cis star, miss star, fraud star, stir is star. And when you become famous, you become a superstar and you gain a star on the Hollywood floor. You are a star. The ether. The ether is the infinite energy source which all things come out of and return back to. This is the cycle of life and death, summer and winter, day and night, sleep and awake. The ether is the infinite energy source which all things come from and will return back to. Okay, sorry about that little error. The ether is the boundless source of energy from which all things emerge, to which all things return to. We can see this in the cycle of the sun. The sun does this wave of creation. It rises and it falls. We have the day and the night. The daytime represents our conscious mind when we are alert. The nighttime represents our subconscious mind when we are inside the spiritual realms. The nighttime is spirit, the daytime is matter, spirit and matter, awake and asleep, conscious and subconscious. We see this in the yearly cycle. Summer is life, winter is death. Spring is the morning, summer is midday, autumn is evening, winter is the night. Everything is a macro and a micro cycle of being born out of the ether and returning back from life and death. Life and death is manifested within the cycles of the sun and everything outside of you, as within, so without. This is why we say sleep is the cousin of death. The macrocosm is death, the microcosm is sleep. Every time you go to sleep, you are essentially it's a miniature death. You're entering into spirit and then returning back into matter in the morning when the sun rises. Everything is a reflection of the macrocosm cycles. Preparation for death. The first thing we must do in order to prepare for death, for life after death, in order to stop being reincarnated in this cycle of materialism, in order to progress as a soul, because remember, you are a soul in a body. Just like the sun gives power and life to the earth, your soul gives power and life to your body. When you say I, you're referring to the soul. And your soul can be stuck underneath layers of false identifications. Who you believe yourself to be is merely a collection of subconscious programs running within your mind. Now that's very deep. That is very, very deep. Who you think you are is a part of your thinking mind. Your name, your job, your reputation, your family, your friends. These things are not you. They're all aspects of the thinking mind. What happens if you meditate and you turn off the mind? Then all these things do not exist. You're left with the pure soul, the pure awareness, the pure observation. If you turn off the thinking mind, you're no longer your body, you're no longer your reputation, you're no longer your friends, you're no longer your job and your labels. You are the soul. That's the true you, the observation of the mind, not the thinking mind. The ego is the echo. It's an echo of your true self. The ego is your mind's perception of itself, shaped by experiences, trauma, emotions, and beliefs. It is merely an echo of your true soul self. The ego is not you. Your mind is not you. You are the soul. And this is the true self that we must express within our life and we must connect with before we die. Because when we die under the echo, under these false layers of the emotions, the traumas, the experiences, the addictions, the emotional attachments, when we die underneath all of this, when we don't know our true self, the soul is still hidden. The true you is hidden underneath these layers of false identification. We must remove these layers of false identifications. We must remove them. We must destroy the echo. Remember, the ego, you never had an ego when you were a child. When you were a child, you were pure. You didn't, you didn't show off things. When you were a child, you were pure. You expressed yourself freely with you didn't hide anything. You didn't hide any aspect of yourself. You didn't suppress any aspect of yourself to fit in as a child, as a baby. Because the ego was not here when you came here. The ego grows with experience. The ego is a false perception of yourself while being incarnated in this material world. It's your mind's perception of itself and it's created through your experience. Remember, you are unconditioned consciousness, and your experiences, thoughts, traumas, emotions, and beliefs have conditioned your consciousness into believing you're only a physical body, but you are the soul. We have to remove these layers. How do we remove these layers? Like I said, the best thing, meditation. Meditation. There is a great meditation that you can do every single morning and every single night time. You can sit there and repeat over and over before you meditate. You can repeat that you are not this, you are not that, you are not this. You can label them one by one. Start with, I am not my body, I am not my job, I am not my name, and then detach from absolutely everything until you are left with nothingness. And when you start to meditate, detach from everything. Nothing matters. I am here right now. And what will be left? The only thing that will be left is the language that your mind is using. Now, this is very deep. Not many people will tell you this, but I've lingered in meditation many times. And I can tell you from experience that the only thing left once you detach from everything is the language that your mind is attached to. So whether that's English, Italian, French. Once you detach the language of the mind that that little voice in your head's using, you're left with the soul. Once the mind is switched off, you're left with the soul, and you have detached from all of these external things. You're left with the soul. That's you. That's the power. That's the source of all creation, where everything you've ever done has come from. Every thought, every idea has come from your soul. Number two, that's meant to say number two. Sorry about that. Mental addictions and emotional addictions. Okay. These two are very important. Mental addictions, this could be thought patterns, this could be the labels that we've just been talking about. Then you have emotional attachments, which is maybe you're too attached to an external thing. Maybe you're too attached to your phone. Maybe you're too attached to family. Maybe you're too attached to loved ones. Yes, I'm not saying don't love them, but what I'm saying is do not rely on anything in this world to make you happy, to fulfill your emotional needs. Everything is found within you. You must look within, and if you're looking without, if you're trying to find yourself in the outer world, you'll never find yourself. You'll constantly be looking around in loops. Because nothing, you cannot find yourself in the outer world. Nothing will long-term give you long-term validation. Seeking validation in the outer world will leave you soulless, leave you feeling empty inside and sad and depressed. You have to find yourself within. You have to detach from everything you are relying on to give you emotional stableness. You have to detach from all. Yes, love your children. Yes, love these people, but do not rely on them. Because everything in this world is temporary. Do not conform to this world. The Bible tells you this. Everything in modern society nurtures the body, but neglects the soul. They keep you addicted to as many things as possible. Smoking, you have to detach. Drugs, you have to detach. Alcohol, detach. You cannot rely on anything. This is why this path is very, very difficult to walk. But I'm showing you the way. These are the things you must do before death. You have to detach from absolutely everything. If you die and your mind and soul is still addicted to these worldly things, then you guess what? You're going to reincarnate. You're going to reincarnate because your mind is still thinking about these material earthly things. And if you are operating in that vibration, you're going to project that vibration and come back here. You have to detach. You have to master the soul and master the mind. Like I said, the matrix is designed to keep you addicted to as many things as possible. Your phone, food, smoking, drugs, alcohol, clubbing, all of these things. Everything in society is made to trap your soul and reincarnate in this world. That's why it's very, very, very difficult to walk this path. Very difficult. Matrix, matter tricks. John 2:15 to 17. Do not love this world, nor the things it offers you. For when you love the world, you will lose God. Do not love this world, nor the things it offers you. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Great quote. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed. Let this world transform you. Learn from this, expand from this, but do not be mentally and emotionally attached. Okay? What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? Like I said, everything in the Bible is telling you the truth. You just got to read it correctly. This is spirituality. This is spirituality. The Bible is spiritual. It's a spiritual text. We must disconnect from everything outside of us and connect with the true soul. Here we have the Egyptians showing you the soul leaving the body. Here we have the soul here. Here we have the Masons showing you the soul coming out. The soul is real. You are the soul. And when you leave this physical plane, you will go into the astral plane. That's where you came from. You came from the astral. You came from the stars. You incarnated into this physical body. Your consciousness fell into this material form to experience limitation, to experience a 3D world. So in order to ascend properly before we die, we have to let go of all the attachments. Every addiction you have, write them down. And one by one, tackle them. Before you die, you have to, or else you will reincarnate. This is the teachings of Egyptians. This is the teachings of Masonry. All of these addictions contribute towards life after death. Everything must be controlled. And we must be attached to the soul. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect, people. We're all not perfect. We're all under psychological operation by the government. We're all in a very difficult situation with this awakening. I'm simply pointing out what I know from my journey and what I've been learning through occultism and research and reading lots of books and many different things. I'm on this journey just as you are. Maybe I'm further. Maybe you're ahead of me. We don't know. But this is what I'm sharing with the world. This is what I'm sharing with my research. And this is what makes sense. It's common sense. Look at everything around you. Everything's made to feed the body, not the soul. So, my beautiful watchers and fans and supporters, I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope this video has supported your journey. If you're feeling lost in life, if you're searching for deeper answers, whether you're seeking clarity, looking to expand your studies, or ready for personalized mentoring, this is your chance to connect with me live and receive insights tailored just for you. Start your path to self-mastery and enlightenment inside the world's best esoteric school. Your journey starts now. Tap the link in the description if you want to join Ethereal University, or feel free to check out my books. I thank you all, and I really appreciate for 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I love every single one of you. Make sure to drop a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know some ideas for, lectures, anything that you want to know. I can make lectures on them. Just drop it in the comments. I appreciate every single one of you. Take care. What if I told you you don't have one body? You in fact have four. There's a secret hidden right in front of you, and most of you overlook it. And by learning these teachings today, this will change your perspective on life, on yourself, and completely change the conception of yourself. This is the key to your highest potential. If you stay with me today, you will find secrets about yourself that will change your life. But I warn you, once you step this path of esoteric knowledge, there's no going back. Once you see, you can't unsee. So stay with me, and we will discuss the four bodies of your soul and how you can master yourself to reach your highest potential. The first thing we must understand is that there is a sun. And just like the sun gives life to the earth, there is this life force within the sun that gives life to all matter. We must understand that matter itself is dead. It has no life potential. It has no ability to create or destruct anything. All of the life comes from above, from the sun, from the life-giving power of this infinite energy source we call the sun. No matter what model you believe, the sun still gives power to this physical realm, giving life to all of the crops, giving life to animals, giving life and growth to all things that the rays come in contact with. This is a macrocosm process. We must understand the teachings of as above, so below. This means that the macrocosm repeats itself in a microcosm form. Now, what do I mean? Humans are made in the image and likeness of God. You are a miniature version of God, a spark of the divine consciousness made in human form, in physical form. Just like the sun gives life to all physical matter and growth to all crops on the earth, your soul is a miniature sun. And your soul is giving life to the body. Your body is a miniature earth, which also goes through the cycles of the 4 seasons of the sun. We feel different in each one of these seasons. It's because our body does not only go through these cycles externally, but these cycles happen within ourselves, within consciousness. Your soul is the sun. The sun you see in the sky is an externalization of your soul. Your soul is the life force. You are the soul, not the body. And like the sun gives power to the earth, the soul gives power to your body. So first, let's look at the etymology of the word sun. The word sun comes from it's a Latin word solis or sol, which means the sun. Sol then became soul, sun, soul. And in fact, S-O-N and S-U-N in the old etymology dictionary mean the exact same thing. They are interchangeable. So when we look at the symbol of the sun, we look at a circle and a cross, which represent the four aspects of the sun, the four seasons of the sun: summer, winter, spring, and autumn. These are the four states of the sun. Like we said, this is why we get this symbol. You have the four states of the sun, which represent the four bodies of the soul. Now, this is where we get deep. Like I said, the sun you see in the sky is a macrocosm of your soul, an externalization of your soul. Just like your sun has four seasons, the four seasons within us are the four bodies. Our soul is incarnated and split into four sections. We have a mind, we have a physical body, emotions, and spirit. These are all interchangeable and they are all linked. In ancient alchemy, we have the exact same symbolism of the four stages of alchemy. But in this case, they're symbolized as the four elements: earth, water, air, fire. In this ancient alchemical symbol, we have the pentagram with the top one representing the soul, ether. Our soul then has the four bodies with the human here. We have the man, the eagle, the bull, and the lion. We see this on the tarot card, the Wheel of Fortune. The man, the eagle, the bull, the lion. We see this in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The lion, the bull, the man, and the eagle. We see this with depictions of Jesus. Jesus, the man, the bull, the lion, and the eagle. These represent the four fixed signs of the zodiac: Taurus, the bull; Scorpio, the eagle. Scorpio was symbolized as an eagle. It's an ancient symbol. Now it's been changed to a scorpion, of course. Leo, the lion; Aquarius, the man. These represent the four fixed signs, which are four different elements. Taurus is an earth sign. Scorpio, a water sign. Leo, a fire sign. Aquarius, an air sign. Taurus is the earth. As above, so below. The earth is the physical body. Leo is fire. Fire is the spirit. Scorpio is water, which is the emotions. Aquarius is the mind, which is an air symbol. Air is the mind. That's why we call people airheads. Okay? So what we're actually looking at here are the four aspects of our soul. We have the sun in the middle and the four bodies of the soul. This is what Jesus is symbolizing. Jesus represents you. God made flesh with the four aspects of the soul. The four gospels are all depicting Jesus in four different ways according to the different body of consciousness. The Wheel of Fortune are representing the four bodies of the soul. This represents the four bodies. Now, how are they four bodies? They are four dimensions of consciousness. The mind is not made of the same substance of the emotion. The emotion is not made of the same substance of the physical body. The spirit is not made of the same substance as the physical body also. They exist in four dimensions of consciousness. They are four bodies of our soul. And the most important teaching here is what I'm actually getting to, is the powerful one. This is what gives you power. Most of us live in chaos. Our mind is thinking of doing something. Our emotions are feeling something else. Our body is lusting and wanting to do something else. And our spirit's energy is completely off. Most people live in unbalance. None of these four bodies are working together. This is why we produce chaos in our lives. When these bodies are in balance, are not working together. So in alchemy, they symbolize the four elements, which are the four bodies of consciousness. These are the furnaces with the fire. They represent transmutation of each body. We have to sync these bodies. We have to sync the mind with our emotions, and our emotions with our actions, the physical body, and with our spirit. These four key bodies need to be in line in order for us to create consciously in our life. Because each one of us is a creator, a miniature version of God, creating our own earth, creating our own material reality. And in order for us to create consciously and with effect and power, we must have these bodies unified so that we can create consciously and not create chaos. So this is very, very important. And this is a secret teaching found in all ancient societies. But this is what the hidden symbolism of astrology actually is. The sun is our soul, and the 12 zodiacs are 12 aspects of our soul. And we have the four aspects of the four main bodies. This is what we're looking at. We're not looking at the sky. We're actually looking at aspects of ourselves, aspects of our soul that we must master and transmute in order to become our highest potential. So I hope this makes sense. And it may take a while for you to fully understand this, but the key knowledge in order for you to understand any of these teachings that I've gone through today is the major teaching of as above, so below. What is above is below. What is within is without. Your inner reality projects the outer reality. What is inside of you is outside of you in some form or way. Whatever trees, whatever roots that go down will always shoot up. When you throw a bouncing ball, you shoot it down, it will go up. As above, so below. As within, so without. God did not make a creation separate from himself. We are all extensions of the divine made in physical form. And we are incarnated into four sections. Our soul is separated into four sections. These are the four corners of reality. These are the four pillars of reality that we must control. So in order to access our soul in meditation, we must turn off these four things. Turn off the mind, the emotion, the spirit, and the body. And then we access the soul. So I hope this video helps today. And you can learn all about this in the Book of Wisdom, Volume 2. This book is a revolution in consciousness. I do not recommend everyone reads this book. This book is only for people who are serious and want to transform their lives. This book is a book that will change the scope you see reality. It will change your perspective on yourself because you will resonate with this. This book does not just give you information. It gives you a sense of well-being. It gives you truth, and you will find your power from this information. This information is not just information, it's a key to your path of enlightenment and transformation. So you can find this book in the description of this video. And if you are part of the university, I will see you on the live calls. Thank you, everyone. Please leave a like, subscribe, and a comment, and let me know whatever videos you want me to make next. Anything that you fail to understand or have any confusion with, I can make a video on it. So let me know in the comment section any reviews or anything I should do. Thank you all, people. Have a great day.
Mentalism, conscious and subconscious mind. You need to understand that the mind is the root and the cause of all reality. I am mind, you are mind. Every single living creature in this physical plane expresses and manifests mind. We are all the invisible substance of mind. We are all the source, which is God. We are all consciousness, which is mind. Before we manifest something physically, we manifest it within the realm of thought, which is the mind. Thought then manifests into astral imagination. This then gives energy within the etheric plane. Then we manifest it physically within the material effect world. Everything begins in the mind, and this is why the government are called government. The word men comes from the Latin word mans, which is an English translation for mind. We see this word in entertainment, government, mentality. It means mind. Govern means control. They are controlling the mind through information. Information creates perception within our minds, and so do the words that we use and the language that we speak. It all creates perception within the mind. It is our perception that creates reality, and our reality is a level of realization. Your reality is realization. Everything begins in the mind. This is why they are controlling your mind through many different things. Okay? So essentially, they understand how the mind works. So this is why they manifest all things through mentally and not physically. Okay? You have a conscious and a subconscious mind. The conscious mind is what you are consciously aware of. It is the 10% of your mind. It is the mind that keeps you alert. A part of your conscious mind is for survival. A part of it is your visual field. A part of it is your just five senses. It is basically what you are consciously aware of right now. Your subconscious mind is the 90% of your mind. The subconscious mind is what holds all of your memories, your programs, and all things that you have ever experienced is all stored within the subconscious mind. It is this part of you where you draw memories from, where you draw your words from. I am consciously speaking, but the words that are coming out of my mouth are not thought about consciously. They are coming straight from the subconscious mind, where all programs and memories are stored. It is essentially this part of the mind which is manifesting our daily basis behavior. Because the subconscious mind stores the programs which we are operating our life off. For example, if you tie your laces, you do no longer have to consciously do them. Your hands literally just know exactly what to do because you've done it that many times. So essentially, you create these programs within your subconscious mind through repetition and emotion. These are the two main ways your subconscious mind is programmed and installs things that you do on autopilot. The subconscious mind, like I said before, manifests 90% of your daily basis actions and 90% of your daily basis thought patterns. For example, if you were in a car crash 10 years ago and you had a very traumatic event, that car crash and that emotion that you felt in that time impressed your subconscious mind with a program. And even to this day, 10 years later, you are still wary about entering cars because of that program. Even though you may be not thinking about the car crash, you are still wary about entering cars because of that program, because of that emotion impressed upon the subconscious mind. You see, everything you say, everything you think, and everything you feel is telling your subconscious mind, that is what I want. The subconscious mind takes everything literally. Even if you are talking about someone else, your subconscious mind only knows you, and it only knows yes, and it only knows the now, the present moment. So this is why the golden rule back in the ancient days was treat others like you want to be treated. Because the way you treat others is telling your subconscious mind that is how you want to be treated. And this will create subconscious programs within you, affecting you. So, before you go to sleep every single night, what you want to do is to impress your subconscious mind with thinking and feeling of something that you want to become. Become that reality. Think and feel that reality. And by doing this, you are impressing your subconscious mind, and you will wake up in the morning with ideas. Because when you install a program within your subconscious mind, like I said before, it manifests into at least 50% of your thought patterns. So let's say I created a program within my subconscious mind of how to become financially free. Well, I created the program that I am financially free. My conscious mind will start to slowly think about that program and how I can achieve that program, because the conscious mind operates on survival. So if you create a subconscious program of I am financially free, your survival conscious mind will start to operate and think and act on this program subconsciously. You won't even know that you are doing it, but you are. And this is the power of the subconscious mind. You have to reprogram it properly. You have to be careful of the things you think, say, and feel, because all of this is contributing towards molding your subconscious mind, which essentially molds your reality. It draws things to you.
Today's topic is the binary code behind the universe. You will learn the fundamentals of the binary code, deeper understanding of reality, which will give you more of a connection to the universe, evidence supporting the existence of this code, and how to use the binary code to shape your reality. Now, this is an important one. We have 0 and 1. This is the binary code of the universe. It underlies everything. It is the source of all creation. The universe is binary in nature, meaning it exists as both something and nothing, on and off, male and female, light and dark. Everything has its polar opposite. At its core, all that exists is 0, representing nothingness, infinite potential, and 1, representing something, order. 0 represents the feminine, vast, formless, and infinite potential. It is the space from which all things emerge, the womb of creation, the receptive and expansive force. 1 represents the masculine, structure, form, and order. It is the active principle, the initiator, the force that defines and shapes reality. Together, they create the fundamental duality that underlines existence, the balance between chaos and order, the void and creation, yin and yang. We see this in the masculine and feminine bodies. This is deeply encoded into the fabric of reality. And once you see this, you will never unsee this. So please leave a like on this video if you love my content and you love the wisdom that I share with the world. So we see this with the masculine genital areas. Remember, this is the genital area. This is all to do with creation. These are the generative principles, the generative organs in the body that allow creation to continually outfold into new life. The genital areas are all to do with the code. The male is the 1, the action. He's the initiator. The feminine is the 0, which is the infinite potential, the womb of creation. 0 and 1. This is why we have 10 numbers. 0 and 1. Masculine and feminine. We even see this in the bodies. The feminine body is made out of curves, which is 0, curves. And the masculine body is made out of lines. So please leave a like and comment if you love this. And if you have any lecture ideas, feel free, and I can make a lecture on any suggestions that you have. So look at the word masculine. Masculine, line. Line is just one line, which represents order. 1. Feminine. 9. 1 and 9 equals 10. 0 and 1. The binary code of all creation. Why is feminine? Why the number 9 for feminine? Because the moon has to go around 9 times to create a human in the feminine's womb. And look at this image of nature. All nature is zeros and ones. Now you can tell the stick is a 1. It's a line, and here we have curves. It's curves and lines. Curves and lines create reality, creates matter. Everything is 0 and 1. We even see this with the sky. The sky represents zeros. They represent curves, the heavens, the heavenly bodies, the sun. These are circles, the moon, circles, the planets, circles. Down here is matter, representing the square. We have the Freemasonic square and compass, representing lines and circles, masculine and feminine. We see this with Leonardo da Vinci, with the circle representing the spirit, the void, the womb of creation, and matter, which is the body. This is the soul in matter, infinite potential in matter. This represents spirit over matter. This represents the architect of reality, zeros and ones, spirit and matter. This is all the same thing. Understanding this binary nature of the universe, where zero, feminine, represents the infinite potential and one, masculine, symbolizes order and structure, can benefit you in several ways. Manifestation and creation is the first way it can benefit you. Now that you understand this, you understand that everything comes out of infinite potential. Zero, infinite potential. One, action equals manifestation equals creation. So you must pull things out of infinite potential. If you have ideas but don't take action, too much zero, nothing materializes. You'll never materialize if you sit there imagining all day, visualizing all day. You have to take action. They both come hand in hand. If you only take action without tapping into intuition and creativity, too much one, your actions may feel hollow and misdirected. Using both effectively leads to greater success in life, work, and relationships. This is the 33rd degree motto, or this is on the 33rd degree of Freemasonry Scottish Rite logo, and it's called Order ab Chaos, order out of chaos. Chaos is the zero, infinite potential. Chaos is the dimension of the imagination. This is where this all ties in now. Imagination is the dimension of infinite potential, pure potential, formless creativity, and the realm of infinite possibilities. It is the void, the unmanifested energy that contains all that could ever be. That is the imagination. The imagination is the dimension that you are connected to, and you can pull any idea out of and materialize it into a reality. Matter, on the other hand, is order brought out of the imagination, chaos. It is when raw potential is structured, defined, and crystallized into form. This is the fundamental principle of order out of chaos, the process of turning the unseen into the seen, the abstract into the concrete, the dream into reality. That's why we say dreams into reality. Dreams are in the imagination, infinite potential, and the human mind is connected to high dimensions of consciousness, which we can pull ideas, things out of and materialize it into our lives. Whether that's good or bad, that's completely up to you. But we have access to higher dimensions beyond the physical plane. And this is the secret that the human mind is connected to, and that you are not just a physical body. Okay? The universe itself was born from chaos. Before form, there was only energy and potential. Our minds function the same way. The mind is a microcosm of the universe. Our thoughts exist in an infinite field of possibility, but they only become real when we take action and give them form. If your inner world is filled with chaotic thoughts and impulsive emotions and negativity, then creating order within is essential for balance, clarity, and growth. What do I mean? Order out of chaos, 0 and 1. All creation comes out of infinite potential. The mind, the imagination, is the infinite potential. The material world is the order. It's the effect. Therefore, if your material world has chaos, if your room is messy, if your body is out of shape, if you do not look after yourself, everything in the physical world is just a reflection of what's going on inside of you, what's going on inside of you. So if you have a messy room in a messy house, this reflects as a messy mind, a chaotic mind, and we must create order in our mind. So this applies to all realms of your life. This applies with your mind. It applies with your emotions. It applies with your manifestation. It applies with the physical world, with the masculine and feminine. 0 and 1 is heaven and earth. It's everything. It's duality. It's on and off. It's everything. So it applies to all realms of your life. Okay. So in order for this to benefit our lives, we must, one, have awareness and observe the chaos. Step back and observe your thoughts and emotions without reacting to them. Recognize that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. You are the soul. You are in between them. You are the midpoint between the left and the right, the 0 and the 1. You are the soul. Journaling or meditation can help you identify patterns and negativity and impulsivity. So it's important that we recognize these patterns. We recognize the chaos within us and we transmute it. 2, implement structure, mental discipline, mindful practices, meditation, breath work, and slowing down your reactions. Cognitive reframing, replace destructive thoughts with constructive ones. This is so, so important. For every negative thought that you place attention to, place your attention onto 5 more positive. Never think about something that you don't want to manifest, because whatever you're placing attention on inside that mental field of consciousness, you're giving attention to it, which then can manifest into your action, and that will materialize into your world. Routine and ritual. Create daily habits that anchor you. Morning routines, exercise, or creative outlets bring stability. We must master the inner world of thought and emotion. We must bring chaos into order. In order to create anything in your life, you're turning chaos into order. Order out of chaos. You're turning 0 into 1. This is the binary code. All things underlie it, 0 and 1. So it's so important that we master our minds, we master our emotions, we master our inner world so we can produce effect in the outer world. We cannot create consciously and effectively if we have chaotic thoughts and impulsive emotions. So I hope this has made more clarity to you so you can implement this into your life. I know I haven't given you much strategic things to implement into your life, but now that you have a better understanding of how this world is pulled out of infinite potential, you can use that. Everything in your life is pulled out of your imagination. Every text you send, everything you think of, oh, I'm going to do this later, that is your imagination thinking about the future. So you just have to do this on a mass scale to create something big in your reality. So I hope this gives you a better understanding of how the universe works and has benefited your life. If you have any comments or any suggestions or how this video made you feel, let me know in the comment section. I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you all inside of the Symbolism Masterclass on March the 8th. Hello, people. Today we're going to be talking about the secrets of the human heart. Everything they told you about the heart is a complete lie. There are secrets behind it, and you're going to find out why. And it's very important that you understand that the heart is not a pump. It's not a pump. They lied about this. The lungs is a pump. The lungs is what pumps the blood around the body. It's the oxygen. Oxygen is reacting on the blood. Now, what do you use to use a pump? You use air to pump things up. That's what your lungs are. They use air, oxygen. Now, oxygen carries magnetism. If you pour liquid oxygen between 2 magnetic magnets, you find an attraction, as you can see here. So this attraction proves that there is magnetic principles within oxygen, liquid oxygen. So when we breathe, we are essentially breathing in magnetism. Magnetism is the force driving this world. So your heart is a chestahedron. It's a 7-sided shape in geometry, and each side is pretty much equal. It's a chestahedron. Look at the word chestahedron, chest, where your heart is. And it looks very, very similar. So this is the sacred geometry of the heart. And when a chestahedron is placed in an angle, when it's placed in a box, a cube, it sits at an angle of 36 degrees off center. This is the same angle which the heart sits within the chest. That's why it's called a chestahedron, because that's what the heart is. It's a chestahedron. And when you place a chestahedron into water, it causes a spiral. It causes a vortex motion, because your heart is essentially a vortex generator. So the heart is not a pump, it is a valve. This is where blood goes into. And when the blood goes into the heart, this is what causes it to vortex, because the heart is in a shape of a vortex. Look at the tissues, everything's wrapped around, everything's spiraled. See this here? This is the spiral of magnetism. So all of the valves and the cords and the fibers are all wrapped around each other. It's a vortex. And if you take off the tissue of the heart, you would see this. Kind of looks like the Holy Grail. And this is essentially the vortex spiraling of the heart tissues. And if you unraveled the heart, because your heart is one tissue, it's one muscle. Look at it here. This is a heart unfolded. And it's just spiraled together to create this. That's what the heart is. So the heart's tissues is spiraled here, and the heart itself is all wrapped around each other in a vortex, in a spiral. Because all spiraling is all to do with magnetism. So the heart is a vortex generator. The heart takes blood, so blood enters the heart. The heart charges this blood. It reacts with the heart. The blood is turned into the heart moves through the blood moves through a vortex motion within the heart and then goes back out of the heart. So there is something going on inside the heart which is very, very crucial that we might be missing. So the heart is spiraling blood, and there's a reason why it's doing this. When you spiral something, it gives it more energy. It gives it more frequency, more energy, more force behind it. So by spiraling the blood, it's turning blood into plasma. That's what the heart is doing. It reacts with the heart, it turns it into a vortex and turns the blood into the fourth state of liquid, or fourth state of matter, which is plasma. Okay? Plasma is proved to be in the blood. Plasma is a part of the blood that carries platelets and red blood cells and white blood cells around the body. Plasma makes up approximately 55% of the blood. So plasma is a state of matter, which they'll never tell you about because they try and hide plasma as much as possible. It's ionized gas. And that's what's going on in the heart. The heart is a vortex energy generator for the blood. And the body is being fed by plasma. Plasma energy, the fourth state of matter. And if you go and read the Emerald Tablets will tell you this exact same thing. Emerald Tablets of Thoth. They're supposedly thousands of years old, or it was supposedly written by M. Doriel, who was an occultist. Apparently, he translated them. Either way, he was an occultist. So it's either written by an occultist or it's actually 100,000 years old. In the physical are these channels, the blood which moves through the vortical motion, reacting on the heart to continue its beating. So what is that telling you? The blood moves in vortical motion. It's a vortex. Reacting on the heart. What's it reacting with? There's something in the heart that turns blood into plasma. It reacts with the blood, reacts with the heart. Then it says magnetism, which moves through the nerves paths, carrier of energy to all the cells and tissues. So your body's being fed by magnetism, people. They'll never ever teach you this in school. That your whole body is running off magnetism and plasma. You're literally You are an energy being. When you understand this, you are made of energy. You're running off spiritual, etheric energy that you cannot see. They just teach you in school that you're running off blood and oxygen. It's way deeper than this. We're being run by magnetism. Magnetism is the driving force of all creation. Magnetism, which moves through the nerve paths and carrier of energies to the cells and tissues. Akasa, which flows through the channels, subtle yet physical, completing the channels. Personally, I think Akasa is plasma. Okay, plasma is Akasa. Completing the channels. Each one of the three attuned with each other, each affecting the life of the body. So all of these three things, okay, the heart, magnetism, and Akasa they're all working together to create the body, to create the life. Form they the skeletal framework through which the subtle ether flows. So it's telling you ether is real. Ether is the substance that connects the physical and the astral. It's your etheric body is where your chakras are. So your chakras are your etheric energy body. And these energies, these seven energies, is what gives life to the physical form. They feed energy into the physical form. So the ether, subtle yet physical, is charging the body through the skeletal framework. So it's telling you this, and even the word heart has ether within it if you just rearranged A and the E. Put the H on the beginning of, put the H on the end of heart and you get earth. Because what the heart is actually doing, it's taking the energy of the electromagnetic field around us, which is everywhere, that everything is filled with magnetism and electromagnetism. The Earth is a giant electromagnetic Taurus field, and all of this energy from the center is feeding directly into your heart. Because the center of this Earth is the heart of the Earth. The center of you is your heart. And the center of the aura borealis, whatever you want to call it, this energy that's emitted from the center of this Earth is feeding directly into you, and your heart is transmuting this energy from the earth to react with your blood, and your blood is then feeding your physical body through plasma. That's what's going on. You yourself and your heart is directly connected to the earth. That's why your heart rearranged its earth. You're directly connected to the cosmos. Everything they do to poison you and give you all this stuff is to keep you disconnected from the universe. You yourself are the universe. Your body is directly in correlation electromagnetically with the earth. So the heart is the balance. That's how you connect with things, through the heart. Okay. You see Jesus with the sacred heart, always pointing at the heart. Matthew 6:21, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. What's that telling you? What's your treasure, your goal, what you're doing in life? There your heart will be also, because your heart is a guide through this lifetime. Your heart has an intelligence. Every single organ in your body has consciousness, and you think with it. You can think with these different organs. You can think with the brain, you can think with the heart, you can think with, the reproductive area. That's why, everyone always says you're thinking with your penis. For if you're a man, you know about this. People say that. That's just a saying, but it's true. You think with these body parts, people, and your heart is a guide. It knows everything that's right. It knows the things that you need to do. So that's why your heart is called a chest, because your treasure chest is in the chest. Sorry, your treasure is in the chest. And what's the treasure? Your heart. All of the wisdom, all of the understanding, all of the guidance is inside of that heart. And you need to follow your heart. That's why we say follow your heart, to find your treasure in this life. Find your purpose. That's what your treasure is, your purpose in this life. So the heart is also producing your electromagnetic field around your body. And the heart is all to do with emotion. So thought happens in the mind, which is not the brain. Then the thought in the mind produces brain activity, electrical signals, and then these electrical signals are sent to the heart, which produces an emotion. So essentially, the brain and the heart are directly connected. You need to sync them. You need to sync the brain and the heart. Why? Because you need to be thinking with emotion behind it. If you think with lack of the heart thinking, also, if you think without the heart, you are only thinking for yourself and not for the empathy of others. You have to think before you take action of the emotion of others and have thought of people's feelings behind. So you must sync the heart and the brain. The actions you must take must be in line with your heart. Your heart tells you everything. Before you do something, you can feel whether it's right or wrong. You can feel it deep down within you. When you quiet in your mind, you can feel it. Where if you know when you're doing something wrong, especially when you're a child, because this, as you get older and you constantly do negative things, then yes, you can block out the heart completely. But deep down within people, they know what they're doing and they know whether it's right or wrong. You feel horrible when you do something bad. You feel it inside of you. And Manly P. Hall said, every time you go against the heart, you are destroying your electromagnetic field. It kills the magnetism of your body every time you go against it. Obviously, I don't know if this is true, but I agree with this. Manly P. Hall was an enlightened individual who understands the anatomy of the body, understand all of the occult things. And essentially, every time you go against your heart, you are killing the magnetism of your body, your cells, and everything about you. Because your whole body is magnetic. You have magnetic attraction all over you. So there's a saying, well, obviously in Christianity, what happens in heaven happens on earth. Well, what happens in the brain happens in your heart. Heaven is the head, earth is the heart. Every thought you think produces an emotion in the heart. Every single thought triggers an emotion. You know, when people say they got a broken heart, because all of that emotion is in the heart. Not in the heart, but in the invisible intelligence behind the heart. You must understand there's a consciousness, an invisible spiritual consciousness behind every physical thing. So your brain is dual, your heart is single. Your brain consists of two hemispheres. So when it comes to decision making in the brain, there can be confusion between the left and right hemispheres. This is why when people are confused. But the heart is a singular organ. And if you go onto Google and type in brain cells found in the heart, there are 40,000 neuron cells in the heart, the exact same cells which are found in the brain, in the cranial brain. This means that your heart is essentially a brain for your emotions, what it is. And your emotions tell you what is right and what is wrong. So every thought you think produces an emotion, and whether that emotion is good or bad will tell you whether something is right or wrong. So the heart is the guidance through this life, and your higher self resides in the heart. You have to follow the heart. You have to do what the heart tells you all the time. So I hope you enjoyed this video, people. Please feel free to contact me if you have any video ideas or anything like this. And welcome to the university. I look forward to connecting with you all. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be discussing the esoteric and occult meaning behind the story inside of Genesis, the story of Adam and Eve. This is a widely known story, but not many people know the true esoteric meaning behind it. Okay. So today we're going to be breaking this symbolism down. Before we get into this, please leave a like and a subscribe on the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And please comment below any lectures or anything you wish to know, and I could maybe make it in the future. The first thing we must understand about the Bible is that it is an esoteric and occult book. It is written in allegory. It is written in such a way that we understand the book compared to our level of perception. Now, what do I mean? If a child read the Bible, they would gain a standard meaning and story behind it. They would gain a normal interpretation of the book, of being good, praise God, and be a good person. However, me, who have studied the occult and esoteric and symbolism for a very long time, when I read the Bible, I see a deeper meaning. I can read between the lines of the allegories, which means the Bible is written in such a genius way that it speaks to your level of intelligence. Depending on how advanced you are mentally and with knowledge, will depend on how you decipher this book and how the parables inside the book can speak to you in your personal life. Okay. So the Bible is the greatest psychological book ever written in history. This is why it's known as the greatest story ever told. It's a story. What we must understand with the Bible is that the Bible creates on the surface a logical way of thinking, which is what we call religion. We read the Bible and if we think logically and we take that book literally, then we gain a religion. But if we look beyond the surface, this is what we call esoteric, metaphorical, symbolic. You can read between the lines using our right hemisphere of the brain in deciphering this book and what it truly means to us and the evolution of our mind, body, and soul. What this book actually reveals between the lines is instructions and stories which teach you how to level up your consciousness, how you can sync the mind, body, and spirit and soul all together so you can live like a god. This is what the esoteric is. It's the purification of consciousness. Now, when it comes to Adam and Eve, okay, what we must understand is that this is the beginning of creation. This represents the beginning of your life in an esoteric way. This is symbolic for the beginning of your incarnation into this physical world, okay? And we have Adam, masculine, Eve representing feminine. These are the two masculine and feminine energies which create the whole material universe, okay? And as we are born with a pure consciousness. We are born with pure consciousness. Well, now, what do I mean? As a baby, we have no knowledge. We are pure essence of the soul. You know, we don't gain the knowledge of good and evil. We are pure. Yes, we're not happy all the time as a baby, and we're not sad all the time, but we have no ego. This is what I mean. Our consciousness is not split. As a baby, you are whole. You have a whole consciousness. You are yourself. You have no false identifications, no limiting belief systems, nothing. You are pure awareness and the pure soul and the pure mind. Now, this is what Genesis is representing. As we grow older, the more experiences we gain, the more thoughts we start to think, the more knowledge we gain of this world, the more impure our mind, our heart, our soul, our spirit becomes, the more impure our body becomes. As we grow older, we're infected with negative beliefs, negative thoughts, and society norms. This is a big one. As we grow older, we are molded by society. We shut off areas of ourself and we push them away so that we fit in with society. We all know this. We all did this in school. We pushed away parts of ourselves to act cool or to fit in, whatever it may be. whatever type of person you were in school. We all went through this because society and culture is programmed. So as we grow older, our consciousness splits. We gain a persona, an ego, and we gain a shadow self, the subconscious, and we gain an ego. Now, the ego is what you show to people. It's that character that you show, that you put on to your culture, to your family, to your friends. This is a false identification. And we also gain a shadow self. The shadow self is gained through experience. This is the subconscious. Our ego is created through experience. And so is the subconscious and the shadow self. Okay. So as we gain age in this material body, we fall from the Garden of Eden. We gain the knowledge of good and evil. This is what the symbolism represents of us leaving the garden, us eating from the fruit. Now, the fruit represents the knowledge, it represents the insight, the experience, which splits our pure consciousness. Our soul splits. Okay? We lose connection with the divine. We lose connection with our pure self through material experiences. We may lose ourselves in material experiences. We may lose ourselves in lust and material gain, wealth, and all of these lovely things that the material world offers. We lose ourselves in this. Okay? And not only that, there's another symbolic thing that we're missing with being a child. There's another symbolic meaning behind this tree in this story of Adam and Eve. And this is sexual energy. Okay? As we are a baby, we have no ability to create another human life. We have no sexual urges. We have no desire for the material things as a baby. Nothing. As we grow older, our sexual energy cultivates around the age of, it's like 10, maybe earlier for some people or later for some people. This is what we call puberty, when our sexual energy activates. This is when the masculine and feminine energies are present within the body. And we are now given the ability to create human life. We're now given the ability to bring in a soul into the material world. Now, this is what we believe and know in the esoteric world. That is what sex is. You're bringing a soul from the astral into the physical. Okay? So, as you grow older, you gain this ability to use the power of creation. You gain this force within you that allows you to open a portal in the astral and bring in a soul to the material. Now, this power can be misused. This power is very powerful and should not be misused. In occult and esoteric teachings, we teach and learn sexual transmutation, how we transmute sexual energy into different areas of our life so we can grow and create. Because sexual energy is creative energy. It creates a whole new human being. So if we retain it, we can transmute it into creativity. So this energy is kind of corrupting us as well. And now I'm not saying growing up is evil, all this thing is evil. This is a natural cycle that we must go through. The soul of us must go through this cycle so that we learn, so that we overcome it, so that we gain mastery over ourselves, so that we expand ourselves. I recommend you watch the Evolution of Consciousness lecture that I did on my YouTube. An amazing lecture. It talks about the evolution of consciousness and how we're on a never-ending cycle of life and death and expansion. So leaving the Garden of Eden is symbolic. You see, Eve represents emotion. She's feminine. Adam represents action. That's why he bit the apple. You see, Eve takes the apple and tempts Adam because she's the emotion. She's the sexual desire. And Adam eats it. he releases. He misuses the power of his creation. He misuses his consciousness because of material illusions and material desires. This is natural. Okay. As we grow older in this life, our soul has to experience sin. We have to experience negativity. We have to experience evil. Okay. And we have to misuse this power within us to learn about it so we can overcome it and gain control over it. Now, this is why the Bible says in Genesis 3:6, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened. Ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. This is very, very, very symbolic. We come into this world to experience a dualistic way of reality. We come into this world to challenge ourselves so the soul can grow, because the soul comes from pure love from God. But we come into this world so the soul may know what it's like to be evil. You see, we are like a seed. Our soul's like a seed. And when that seed grows, okay, and it's planted, them roots must grow to hell in order for the top of the tree and the roots to grow to heaven. In order for the soul to reach the highest states, it must descend down into the lowest states. Good and evil. This is the story of good and evil, okay? And this is the story, a psychological story of how the human mind has functioned in this life. This is what this story is representing of how our soul and mind is functioning, how our consciousness is splitting and growing up and evoluting. Okay. Like I said, snakes represent sexual energy. They represent, snake, when you've been snaked. This is why we say you've been snaked, because it represents a temptation of sexual energy. This is why the Kundalini is symbolized as a snake. This is the serpent within us that we can rise to activate dormant brain cells in our brain. And that's called the Kundalini awakening. I'm not going to get into that into this video, but this is what it symbolizes, the tree and the knowledge of good and evil, because our body is the tree. Our central nervous system is the tree. The snake is our sexual urges and this false temptation that tempts us to interact with sin, the material world, okay, and go against our higher divine self. This is what it represents. Now, it's very, very symbolic. Not everyone is going to agree with this, but this is my interpretation of Genesis based on my research of occultism, symbolism, metaphors, and me studying the Bible. This is my interpretation, and I hope it resonates with you. It might not resonate with you, but this is what makes sense to me, and this is what has made sense to many other occult researchers who are in this space as well. Okay. So please leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate if you could, just give me some support on this channel. We're nearly at 100,000 subscribers, which is insane. I just want to say thank you all. And yeah, I will see you inside the university. If you join, I'll look forward to mentoring you, connecting with you on the live calls. There's a new symbolism course which is going to be available very, very soon. And yeah, if you join the university, you also get a 30% discount on all of my products, astrology readings, one-on-one calls, all of my books. Yeah, so I hope you gain some insight on this video, and I'll see you in the next video, and I'll see you inside the university. Have an amazing day. What if the word Yahweh is proof that God is embedded in our very own being? Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you might change the way you see yourself forever. Today's topic is decoding the mystery name of Yahweh, the sacred name of God from the Hebrews. By the end of this video, you'll uncover the true meaning of the word Yahweh and how your connection to it unlocks your own personal power. When we look at the word Yahweh in Hebrew, we flip it on its side we're actually looking at the human body. These are the legs, this is the torso, here are the arms, and here's the head. So if we actually switch this on its side, we see the human body. The Hebrew name Yahweh often translates to I am. The I am. Now, what is the I am? The I am, when you say I, you're referring to your highest self. Everything with the letter I in the beginning, most of them words are referring to our inner self, inside, intelligence, internal, in. The I represents the inside self, the invisible self. You cannot see the I am because this is the spirit, this is our consciousness. It's the intelligence controlling the human body. When you say I, you're not referring to your name, your job, your reputation, your ego, or your thoughts. You're referring to the observer who is beyond the thoughts, the one who's observing the thoughts. That's the soul. Look at the word Yahweh, Yahweh, the sacred name of God. Yahweh can be observed in the natural rhythm of the human breath. When inhaling, we subtly hear Yah. When exhaling, we hear Way. Do this yourself. Breathe in through your nose, you'll hear Yah. Breathe out, you'll hear Way. And in fact, the letter H, H, when it's pronounced, it carries the soft sound of wind or breath, a gentle exhale that mirrors the very essence of life, giving air. Breath is the spirit of life. It's what connects us with consciousness. If we stop breathing, we lose consciousness. The body shuts down. We're breathing the spirit of breath. We're breathing in the spirit of life. It's the very essence that gives us physical existence, and we're constantly staying connected to this breath at all times. Now let's look at Yahweh. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 letters. The tetragrammaton is the 4-letter Hebrew name for God. Okay? Tetra meaning 4. We have 4 gospels of Jesus. Jesus is depicted with a cross with 4 sections. Jesus has the 4 sacred animals around the side of him, always depicted with these 4. A bull or an ox, an eagle, a man, and a lion. These are the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. Aquarius, the man, Scorpio, the eagle, Leo, the lion, Taurus, the bull or the ox, which are related to the elements. Leo is a fire sign. Aquarius is an air sign. Taurus is an earth sign. Scorpio is a water sign. These are the 4 elements. And the 4 elements correspond to the 4 bodies of consciousness, as we see here. This is fire. This is air. This is water. This is earth. So we are made out of the 4 elements, which represent the 4 bodies of consciousness: mind, emotion, spirit, and body. The soul is incarnated into 4 sections. Hence why Jesus has 4 gospels. Hence why Yahweh is a 4-named word, because we are tetraform. We have 4 bodies of consciousness. There are 4 pillars to reality: the mind, emotion, spirit, and the body. So what we're actually looking at here is the name of the very essence of the self. Yahweh represents the universal consciousness that we're all tapped into, because the body is like a radio. The body is basically a radio antenna, which is picking up the stream of consciousness, and we're all the same consciousness, just experiencing it in a different body. And Yahweh is the name for this intelligence that we're all acting out, that we're all manifestations of. So now let's look at the word Yahweh, where we read it this way in Hebrew, which is 10565. 10565 in the Hebrew letters and the numerical values. And the DNA is made up of 4 bases. These 4 things which create the DNA. This basis is the genetic code for all living things. Each DNA strand is held together by sulfur bridges that appear in a repeating pattern of 10, 5, 6, 5. This pattern matches the numerical value of the Hebrew letters of Yahweh, Yod, He, Va, He, which are 10,565. This means the structure of DNA, the code of life, follows the same number sequence as the sacred name of God, Yahweh. This is a factual observation. So we're looking at 10,565. So let's look over this one more time. Yahweh represents the breath, Yahweh, inhale, exhale. It translates to I am. It's written in our DNA. The word Yahweh on its side looks like the human body. Now, this is where things get a little bit deeper. 10,565 adds up to 26. The number God, well, the word God adds up to 26. Allah adds up to 26. There are 206 bones in the human body, 26. 26 adds up to 8. 8 is the number of infinity. We are all the infinite consciousness. Consciousness will never die. It's immortal. It's infinite. We are all infinite. We are not these skeletal structures. We are Yahweh, the universal consciousness. The creator of all things is our essence. We're all God with individual identities, but the highest versions of ourselves is God. The ego is our own personal experience of God. Does this make sense? So in conclusion, Yahweh is not the name of a separate God from us, but rather the reflection of the divine consciousness manifesting through the human form. The human body is like a receiver acting as an antenna that tunes into the infinite intelligence and life force we call consciousness or God. This means that rather than being external, the divine presence is within us, expressed through our very existence. It's very interesting when we look into this, and what religion has done has flipped all of this knowledge. All of this sacred knowledge has been externalized. They've externalized God so that we worship God and we view God as something separate from the human experience. They do this so that we don't find the God within us, so that we don't find that we have the power of creation. The mind is the creative force of God. The body is the will to act out that thought. They don't want us to figure out that we are creators and we're all creating our own earthly experience. We're all projecting this reality. And they don't want us connecting with the divine intelligence within us because they want to be the creators. They want to keep this knowledge. They don't want the masses to wake up to this powerful knowledge. So what they've done is that they've taken the scriptures, they've externalized it so that we start worshiping and giving away our power to these external things. And when God is external, we start to fear God because we start to think that God has power over us. He can send us to hell or heaven. So this is what's going on. They've been externalizing this for thousands of years to keep us in a suppressed state. Okay. Humans are very advanced because we possess self-awareness. We possess the ability to move our awareness and our thoughts outside of the instinctual nature. For example, a cat or a dog. These things can only live in their instinct. They live based on instinct. They smell, they eat. That's pretty much what they do. But humans, we have the ability to rise above that nature and turn to our infinite selves, our higher selves. We can move beyond our instinctual nature and create very advanced things. That's why humans are made in the image of Yahweh. We are literally God in human form. So this is what we all need to realize. And I hope this video has helped. Please leave a like, a comment on inside of the description. I'll have some links to my books and my university. The people who have read them have just absolutely changed their lives. You could probably see that in the comment sections if someone leaves a review of the book. We also have Trustpilot. But yeah, I thank you all. And I'll see you in the next one. There's an ancient symbol hidden in plain sight, one that holds the key to transformation, power, and unlocking your true potential. It's been used for centuries by mystics, rulers, and even modern science, but almost no one understands its true meaning. Once you do, it will change the way you see yourself and the world forever. Stay with me, because this could be the key to your own awakening. The symbol of the snake, or the serpent, is a very powerful symbol that refers to something within you, that we all are on this journey. So first of all, we see this symbol in ancient Egypt on the top of the pharaoh's head. We also see this with Buddha, with the snake on top of the Buddha's head and below. We also see this in Rome, with the Roman god Mercury holding the staff with the snake. We see this in Adam and Eve's story, with the snake tempting Eve. We even see this today on the medical facility. What does this mean? Why is this symbol being used for thousands and thousands and thousands of years? It has a very deep esoteric meaning. We see this in the caduceus staff, and we even see the snake representing the Kundalini. What does the snake actually mean? A lot of people think it represents the Kundalini, which it does. However, there's a deeper interpretation of this symbol, and it goes very far beneath the surface of what the snake actually represents. Okay? So first of all, when looking at symbols, we need to observe what the snake does in nature. The serpent sheds its skin. The serpent shedding its skin is a sacred symbol of an inner transformation. It transforms from its old self to a new self. It sheds layers of itself. As the snake discards its old exterior, it mirrors our own journey of realizing outdated beliefs and patterns, paving the way for a renewed, authentic self on the esoteric path of awakening. Essentially, it represents transformation, but not transformation of our physical bodies, transformation of our inner world. Now, this is where things get a little bit tricky, and you may become a little bit confused, but I'm going to make this very clear for you. The snake symbol, or any symbol, can be used for different context. For example, the Kundalini. We see the snake representing the Kundalini. We all know that energy can't be destroyed, only transferred. Like I said, this is a transferring of energy. It's a changing, a transforming, shedding its skin. It represents transformation. Sexual energy is energy, and we can transform the sexual energy into a Kundalini awakening to activate dormant brain cells in our brain, and to activate the human light body, which is the spirit. We can cultivate, save, and retain our sexual energy, transmute it up the spine to activate the brain. This is a symbol of transformation, of energy in this context. However, when we go to the emergency services, this does not mean the same thing as the Kundalini. The snake in this context represents transformation of health. When we are picked up by the emergency services, we are looking for a transformation. We are unwell, and now we need to transform to well-being. This is why they use this symbol. It represents transformation, especially with the pole and the snake climbing. It's climbing, it's transforming from the bottom to the top, shedding its skin, shedding old layers, transformation. We see this in the Bible with the snake tempting Eve to eat the apple of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Well, what does this mean? Where's the transformation in this? Well, this is a very hidden one. The transformation takes place in Adam and Eve's consciousness and their mind. They go from a pure, whole state of consciousness, from being tempted by the snake, and they eat it, and they transform into knowing the good and evil, into the dualistic ways of thinking, and the dualistic meaning of this world. Let me rephrase that. They understand the dualism of this world, and they now understand the two good and bad ways of thinking. They know the knowledge of good and evil, of duality. They shifted from a whole state of consciousness into their consciousness being split into good and evil. This represents the journey of every single soul that incarnates into this world, including yourself. When you were a child, you were whole. You had no understanding of good and evil. But as you grew older, you eaten the fruit. You grew to understand the knowledge of good and evil. Your consciousness split from a whole into a separate and divided way of thinking and divided understanding of the world. We suppressed aspects of ourselves to fit in with society norms. And we just limited ourselves with limiting belief systems. We knew the knowledge of good and evil. Our consciousness split from a whole state. This is what Adam and Eve is symbolic of. We see this with the Roman god Mercury, with the snake. Mercury represents intellect, communication. He's always flying in the air, which represents the air, the mind, the intellect. He's holding the snake to represent transformation of the mind. This is what we call mental alchemy, turning base metals into gold, turning the unenlightened aspects of our mind into enlightened ones, turning our negativity into power and control. We see this with Buddha, and Buddha is all to do with transformation of the inner world, transformation of the mind and the soul and the emotions. And it also represents the Kundalini. We see this in ancient Egypt. We always see the snake on the head, representing the place where the third eye is, representing the intellect or the mind's eye, the third eye, whatever you want to call it. This is the place of the invisible intelligence within us. This is our mind or intellect. And this is the transmutation of the mind. This is why the snake is on the head, representing the transformation of the mind, going from the unenlightened into the enlightened, going from the uncontrolled to the controlled mind, so that we can control the very fabric of reality. I've kind of just given that away. Why is this important? Humans are creators. We're the architects of creation, endowed with the divine power to channel the fourth dimension, which is the imagination, into reality. Each thought and intention is a seed. When nurtured with focus and clarity, transforms the unseen into the tangible experience. This creative process bridges the gap between the ethereal and the material. Humans are creators. It's impossible for you not to create. Whether you're doing this consciously or subconsciously, you've been creating your whole life, turning non-physical thought into physical reality. We are creators. However, the mind cannot create in a state of chaos. The mind cannot create with limiting beliefs. The mind cannot create with thoughts that come and destruct our minds. The mind cannot create consciously and effectively if there are impulses within our mind and we have no control over the mind. So this is where self-transformation comes from within. This is where the snake comes in. The snake represents the transmutation of our mind from the uncontrolled to the controlled. In this context of the Egyptians with the snake on their head. It's all to do with mental alchemy. In the occult tradition, the mind is seen as a delicate instrument that demands constant vigilance. Left unchecked, it reverts to archaic and destructive thinking patterns. Like a finely honed blade, it must be continually sharpened through discipline and self-refinement. In this unending process of unveiling and mastery, we learn to shape reality, harnessing the power of our thoughts to manifest the highest potential. It's all to do with mental alchemy, and this is how the snake is connected to you. And what the snake represents to you, it represents the transmutation, the changing of ourselves, of our consciousness, so we can gain control in this 3D world. If we lack control, then we'll constantly be manifesting chaos. Now, there are 3 ways that we can transform our world, and we can slowly transform our mind. Now, this is not an overnight process. It takes periods of time of purification. And number 1 is affirmation. Let's say we have this dirty cup of water and we have a tap of water. And in this tap, it's bringing in, pouring in more water, clear water. Over time, if I keep pouring clear water into this cup, it's going to slowly purify this cup. And then in the end, it will look like the cup on the right. It's the same with your mind. The cup represents the limiting beliefs, the negative thoughts, the negative mind, the uncontrolled mind. But if we keep repeating affirmations over and over and over again, such as I am disciplined, I am powerful, I am limitless, over time this can purify our subconscious and we can gain control over the mind, and we will become conscious of the thoughts that we are giving attention to. The second way is meditation. Meditation allows one to develop an off switch for the mind, providing a sense of control over it. Over time, we gain the ability to filter our thoughts and become more conscious of the ones we choose to engage with. Meditation, over a period of time, will give you this button that allows you to filter out negative thoughts. If you have a negative thought in your mind, you'll be able to become conscious of this and redirect your mind's attention. This is all about self-control, because remember, we become what we think about. The snake represents the transmutation of the self. And another way is visualization. Visualization allows your subconscious mind to experience the reality you desire, accepting it as truth. As the subconscious becomes more immersed in this imagined reality, it works to manifest it into your conscious experience. Your visual eye, visual eye. You're using the mind's eye to see and mold your future. That's what imagination is for, to create in your future. You can become your future now in your imagination. And this can slowly purify your consciousness, slowly purify your mind, which will then, if you do all three of these over periods of time, you will see great transformation from the inside out. And your outer world will start to mirror your inner transformation, because it's as within, so without. You change your inner world of consciousness, of thought and emotion, you'll change your external reality and your circumstances. So I hope this lesson has gave you a great understanding of what the snake actually represents. And now that you see it, you will see this everywhere. Every time you see a snake, you know it represents the transformation. So please, if you can, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the alerts to make sure you never miss a video. And if you have any video suggestions, feel free to make a comment and I can make a lecture on it. I appreciate you all watching this video today, and I'll see you all inside my university if you're inside, and I'll see you all in my Telegram if you join, and I'll see you in the next video, of course. Thank you and take care.
Welcome to Revival of Wisdom.
This video is going to be about the flat earth and the breakdown of the whole cosmology. I'm going to be digging very deep. I've got a lot of pictures and images to show you, and a lot of dots to connect. So let's start with the Freemasonry art. So this artwork we have here is the Freemasonic cosmology, as they know and believe. So what is it symbolizing? We obviously have to start off with the four pillars representing the four corners of the earth. The four corners with duality. You see, there's everything on earth. There's good and evil. Good, evil, positive, negative. Good, bad. This is the checkerboard. This is what it symbolizes. Okay. Obviously, we have the sun, the moon. The sun gives you energy. It's the anode. The moon is the cathode. It's the opposite. It takes your energy. So therefore, you become sleepy when the moon comes out. You see, everything on earth, everything in the universe is balanced. There's complete balance, symbolized by duality. There's always two opposites. We have the all-seeing eye, and obviously 7 stars representing the 7 planets, but not planets as in we know planets. They're not physical spinning balls of gas. They are energies. They are lights emitting from the realm above this realm. They are lights through the firmament, through the electromagnetic field. So let's go through that again. The 4 corners, duality, positive and negative, cold, dry. Everyone on Earth has an opposite. Everyone, there's 2. Okay, and then we have the sun, the moon, the 7 planets with a 5-pointed star. What's the 5-pointed star? Of course, it's the 5 elements: spirit, water, earth, fire, and air. Okay, that's what the 5-pointed star is symbolizing, the 5 elements of earth. And then, most importantly, we have the compass. The compass is very, very important, hence why it's in the center. The compass is symbolizing many, many things. And one of the most important things, but we'll get into that after. We have a boat with water outside of the earth. So we have a boat on water, symbolizing the waters separated by the firmament, the waters above, separated by the firmament from the waters within the firmament, the earth. So this is what it's symbolizing. So the compass, what's the compass? This is where the compass comes from. The Polaris, the most important star there is, because it's in the center of Earth, the sun, the moon, and the black hole, black sun. Because all creation comes from center, the seed center. Okay, but we'll get into this after. But also, this is a very important Masonic symbol because they use this symbol a lot. This is one of their main symbols, hence why Neil Armstrong has the Masonic ring with the compass on it. The people who supposedly went to the moon, which obviously they faked to push this globe model, because the globe model is based upon fear. Because the globe model, if they can sell you the globe model, they can sell you anything then. You don't know where you actually are. The globe model is to push fear upon the masses, because the globe model means there's not enough resources. There's also risks of asteroids hitting the planet. There's also risks of space extraterrestrial invasions, global warming, asteroids. You see, this is all the fear that they can gain off selling you the globe model. Okay, because they don't want you to know that this is an intelligent design. And also, they're hiding God, the creator, the source. This is why they are satanic. They are opposites. They are lefty, Lucifer, right, righteous, godly. Hence why they do the symbolism on their eyes. 666. This is another famous, famous astrologer. Astronaut. This is another famous astronaut doing 666, showing that he's in the alliance of the occult. But even look at their 10th anniversary stamps. They have a Masonic compass on there. Also, the Order Out of Chaos. Order Out of Chaos, double-headed eagle. Okay, the Order Out of Chaos ring, which they wear. So all of these astronauts are in the occult. They are lying to you. They are in with this order, this Masonic New World Order, whatever you want to call it. So let's break this compass down a lot more. Because as I showed you here, the center, okay, this is what the compass is symbolizing. Let's go into the North Pole map. This is from 1595. This is a rough estimate of where this map came from. It's from around the 1500s to the 1600s, maybe 1400s. There's not an actual set date on this map because obviously our history has been tampered with. But let's break down this map and the symbolism that they use towards this map, because this map is the map of the North Pole. Okay, so in the center, we have the black rock symbolizing the tower, the pole, North Pole. And what's on top of the North Pole? Obviously, it's Polaris. North Pole and Polaris. Okay, with the 4 islands around the center. Okay, 4 islands around the center. And this is what blew my mind, right? They say that Santa sounds similar. And if you look at this pole that's pointing to the North Pole, you see this line here. So this is obviously from the 1600s. What color is Santa? He's red and white. Just like this map pointing to the center is red and white, and Santa comes from the North Pole. So it's not a coincidence that they use red and white. They're mocking this map because obviously they took over after the 1500s, 1600s. They took over around the 1800s. So they're mocking this map with Santa coming from the North Pole with this red and white line to the North Pole. Notice the 4 islands. Okay. Like windows, their symbol, they obviously in the occult, they're part of the New World Order, is symbolizing these 4 islands with the blue behind it for the water. Okay, so this is another occult logo. They're symbolizing this center because the center is so important. Okay, we'll get into that. Also, we have the Mayan cosmology. This is the Mayan cosmology. This is what they created. This is their artwork, with also 4 major lands around the center. You see this 4 with green in between them all. 4 major lands with the underworld. You see this underworld is also symbolized by the Masons with the coffin of the skull and bones, the deceased, the dead. Okay, so this is also mentioned in the book of Enoch. Okay, and it's called Sheol. Sheol, the underworld. Okay, and in the book of Enoch, it says all spirits of the dead go to these hollow places, that they are wait until their appointed time of judgment. And it also says in the book of Enoch, there are 4 hollow places underneath. 4 as above, so below, representing the 4 islands. As above, so below. That's where that could link in. Okay. The book of Enoch is very important because it was found in a cave thousands of years ago. And has a lot of truths about this realm and about this world we live in. So let's go back to the Mayan cosmology. So the ancient cosmology, they all must have had some sort of communication. They must all be at peace with each other, because all of their cosmologies linked together. See the Greek, Babylonian, Indian, Celtic. Okay, they're all linked in together. They all knew that they were in an enclosed system with an underworld and obviously a firmament. Okay, so this is what they all knew. They all must have had some sort of communication. They were a lot more advanced than us. They knew the center of the realm. Okay, and obviously the United Nations flag also symbolizes their center. You see how it has like a grid with a circle around the center. It's symbolizing that center of the realm, because that center of Earth is so important. They all, the United Nations flag, all have it. See, some different ones will have that circle around the center. Because the center is the seed. All things come from a center. So the Taurus field is so important because it is the spark of life. It's the building blocks of the universe, this creation. Because all things have a Taurus field. Just like an apple with what's in the center of an apple, a seed. Because the center is where the energies hold, is where the energies meet. And it creates that spark of life. Just like your heart is the center of your body. And it has an electromagnetic field. Because the center, all things come from the center. So this is why the North Pole is so important. Because this is why it's so important. Because this is where the creation sparked from. The center. This is where the most electromagnetic energy is stored. So this is why the northern lights come from the center. It's electromagnetic energy. This is what the northern lights are. It's being emitted from this black hole in the center. Okay? And obviously what else is on the center? Polaris. Polaris is the center star. Okay? So the center star is what sits on top of this North Pole, Polaris, because it's a pole of electromagnetic energy, symbolized as a black rock, a black hole, pole. You see, because all creation comes from void. Light is born from darkness. Without light, darkness can't be born from light. You see, but light can be born from darkness. This is why darkness is so important. And this is why there's a black hole in the center of our realm, like the black sun. The black sun. The Polaris star, the North Star. You see, so this is this North Pole, Polaris. This is what they're talking about. And this is why compasses are an 8-pointed star, because Polaris is symbolized as an 8-pointed star. This is where a compass will point you to. It will point you to that center. So notice how a compass has this black hole in the middle. You see? And it will point you to this meeting point, the north, because in the center is the center of the Taurus field of the Earth. This is where the most electromagnetic energy is. You see, everything gets sucked into the black hole. Okay, this whole reality is being projected from that center point, just like your eyes suck in light. It's a black hole. Your eyes suck in the light of this light being emitted from this center place, this electromagnetic energy at the center, which is the seed of everything, of everyone. You see, just like an apple has the seed in the center in darkness, because in the center of the apple, it's dark. It's black. It's pitch black. But that's where the seeds are. That's where the life is. But Polaris is so important because it's that center star which lines up. It is the pole, it's the top of the pole of the Taurus field. So Polaris would be here at the very, very top. And this is where the compasses point you to. And this is why the star of Ishtar, the 8-pointed star of the Sumerians, also talked about this 8-pointed star. and it's called the Star of Ishtar. Okay, and who is Ishtar? Ishtar is the goddess. Okay, so she's not a male, she's a female, because every creation is brought through a female, a womb. Every single human on earth is brought through the womb, the sacred feminine energy. And the womb is pure darkness. There's no light in a womb, just like the center of our realm. It's a black hole. Okay, and guess what? She's the god of vitality and sexuality. She is responsible for all life. Okay, so the Star of Ishtar is the star of Polaris, which is symbolizing the responsibility for all life, the center of our realm, the black sun, the black hole. Okay, so this is what that god of Ishtar of the Sumerians is talking about, the goddess, the womb, the seed of creation. So this would be the portal, more than likely the portal in and out of our realm, because it's the top of the Taurus field. And what's above this realm is the heavens. So this is where you get sucked in from the heavens. Your soul gets sucked in and brought onto this plane of existence called Earth. These are some space NASA symbols. Look how much Polaris symbolism there is. And notice how it's at the center. You see this circle? This is like a half circle. And at the center is an 8-pointed star of Ishtar. It's the same thing. It's Polaris. It's at the center. And notice on some of these, look, this one is a bear holding the key and an arrow pointing to the Polaris star, so that they hold the key to Polaris. Another one with like a demon holding a key to the what? Polaris on top of him. Also an eagle, which is a Masonic symbol, the eagle holding a key on top of the center, you see. And notice how there's an arrow going up to the Polaris and an arrow down, as above, so below, to Earth. So you can go out of Earth and into Earth through Polaris, and the eagle holds the key. You see? The eagle holds the key, just like this. This demon dragon holds the key to Polaris. And look at this one, Earth, with an arrow up to Polaris, an 8-pointed star. So Polaris is more than likely that portal which the Anunnaki used, the Sumerian gods used, because the Anunnaki symbol is also an 8-pointed star. Okay, and like I said, that center is the seed of creation. The center is the black hole. Okay, just like your pineal gland is at the center of your brain. The pineal gland is at the center of your brain, and that's what connects you to that spirit realm, to the source. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all learned something today. Please leave a like, a comment, and please subscribe to the channel for more content. God bless you all. Welcome back, people. We're back with another video. Let's jump straight into this. Make sure to tune in till the end, because this It's got so much information in this video. So sit back and enjoy. So everything's Taurus fields. The Earth's a Taurus field. Everything's Taurus, which is electromagnetic field, electric and magnetic. The center of the Taurus field is where the two opposing forces meet in the center. And this is what creates the plane of inertia, the dielectric plane of inertia. Okay? You got red shift, blue shift, positive, negative, south and north pole, right? This is what the ancients were showing with the tree of life. As you can see here, this is the plane of inertia, and this is the Taurus field. Everything consists of this. Everything is a Taurus field. A atom is a Taurus field. Okay. Now, the inertia is the 0 point. So this plane is a 0 point. It's the balance between two poles. Okay. Now, this creates matter because matter is two opposing forces in motion equalize. So these two forces coming together is what creates matter on this physical plane. And this is why we can't see the electromagnetic field, because it consists of one of the elements, which is either electric or magnetic. But when they combine together, it's what creates this physical plane, which is physical matter, which is light in motion. Now, everything is one. Don't get confused by duality. Duality is two opposing forces, but them two opposing forces are created by the same substance. It's two aspects of the same substance. So, for example, water and ice are the same thing. You know what I'm trying to say? But it's two aspects of the same substance, because all is one. The whole universe is one. All goes back to the one, which is God, the creator, or magnetism, whatever you want to call it, because magnetism pulsates. Electricity has two poles, red shift, blue shift. Okay. So red shift, blue shift is electricity, and electricity vibrates, and all vibration always comes back to a standstill point. But magnetism is what pulsates. This is why your heart pulses. You breathe, which is a pulse. This is the breath of the universe, magnetism. Now, this is why the earth is green. Okay. Earth can be spelt heart. If you just move the H to the beginning, it spells heart, okay? Because the heart is the center of the Taurus field, which is the heart chakra for us humans, okay? We consist of the same field, as you already know. Heart being the center, which is green, which is the center of the seven colors. The center of the seven colors. This is the most powerful chakra in your body. People think it's the crown chakra, but it's the heart chakra because it's the center of the Taurus field. You must align them all and combine them all into one, which is the heart chakra. Now, Earth is green. Nature's green. Okay, this is because we live on heart chakra, the plane of inertia. It's the center of the Taurus field. Okay, and this is what the Egyptians called Isis, which is nature. Nature is balanced, and nature is female, Mother Nature, because it looks after us with the fruit it grows with abundance, and the water. It's a female energy, Mother Nature, and this is the symbolism of an equal, balanced arms. This is the scales, it's balanced. Mother Nature is balanced. This is why the sky is blue, because what comes after the heart chakra? Blue. Sky is blue. We live in Midgard. This is what the ancients called Midgard. You don't have to take this tree literally. It's a metaphor. We live in Midgard, where both positive and negative duality here. Now, Mount Meru. Mount Meru was known as the center of the earth, okay, or known as Hyperborea. And this is the North Pole, the electromagnetic North Pole. But when I say Mount Meru, it's not an actual mountain. They weren't saying there was a real mountain in the center of the earth.
a magnetic rock. No. The plane of inertia, okay, there's something called a hyperboloid. That's what it's called, a hyperboloid. And this is the center of the Taurus field. And this hyperboloid is what is in the shape of a mountain, you see? So if I go to this next one, they say Hyperborea on this map. Why do they call it Hyperborea? Because this is the hyperboloid in the center of the Taurus field. And this is the electromagnetic mountain, a metaphor. Mountain, what they're metaphorically saying, this is the electromagnetic mountain at the center, the double vortex, the center of the Taurus field, which is the North Pole. Pole of electromagnetic energy. So this is why they call it Hyperborea. It comes from the word hyperboloid. And the center of the earth is so sacred. And they symbolize this with, obviously, the North Star, which is Polaris. And this is where the swastika comes from, because it's the 4 seasons moving around the North Star. This is the Big Dipper constellation moving around the North Star, which is Polaris. There's that pole again. Pole. Magnetic pole of the Taurus field. And this is where the green, emerald green, aurora borealis comes from. It comes from this center hyperboloid at the center of the earth, where the most electromagnetic energy is stored. The center of the plane of inertia. The center of the plane of inertia. This is the all-seeing eye as well. As you can see, they got the sun, the moon. This is the Masonic cosmos, the sun, the moon, and the all-seeing eye, because the eye is Polaris, the eye of the stars. It's all a big eye. Now, the eye means a lot more as well. It's not just that. There's different ways you can interpret symbols. Now, this is the emerald tablets. Deep in Earth's heart lies the flower, the source of the spirit that binds all in its form. Okay? The flower of life is thine own place of thine spirit, and stream through the earth as thine flows through thy form, giving off life to the earth and its children, renewing the spirit from form unto form. This is the North Pole. This is what he's talking about. He's talking about the aurora borealis. Aurora borealis. It's the earth's aura. Emerald green. Heart chakra. Plane of inertia. Green. Earth. Heart. You see? All related. Now, there's many symbolism of this. So much symbolism of the ancients. The 7 layers of heaven. 7 layers of heaven, which are the 7 planets. Okay? These planets are the solar system. It's the solar system because we are the soul. We are the sun, the soul. And we're inside of a solar system, which is the 7 planets. That's why there's 7 layers of heaven. Okay? The rings of Saturn, the rings of the planets are moving around us. Okay? So this is what the ancients were depicting in their cosmology. Now this is the Hebrew cosmology of the earth. This is the Mayan cosmology of the earth. You see, it's all an enclosed system. We live inside of a giant Taurus field. All is atum. It's what the ancients said, the ancient Egyptians said. All is atum. Atoms are Taurus fields. Don't be tricked by the modern science today with the current model of an atom. It's completely wrong. They're hiding the Taurus field. They're hiding the electromagnetic field, which is in everything. Absolutely everything is in motion, and motion comes from this field. And you see, this is upside down, but this is the I think it's pretty sure it's candles, but the 7 candles, the 7 planets, the 7 Elohim. You see, it all goes back to the stars and the heavens. Now, this is how the earth really works, with the stars on the outside of the cosmic egg, and then the Taurus field spinning around the sun and the moon, the positive and the negative charge. The sun gives you energy, the moon takes your energy. The moon controls monthly cycles. Moon is mon. This is etymology. Mon, month, money, demon, monster. Stir is star, moon star. We are all stars. Youngster, minister, superstar, Hollywood star. We're all stars. We come from the stars, which is heaven. Our soul comes from the stars. You see, we are the universe. The image of man is made in the universe. We are a microcosm of the universe. The universe is a macro. We are micro. We consist of everything: the body, mind, and spirit. The sun, the soul; moon, the mind; earth, the body, mind, and spirit. We have 12 systems in the body, which are governed by the 12 zodiac signs, starting at the Aries, which is the ram, the ram of God, all the way down to Pisces and Capricorn, kneecap. It all goes back to the stars. We are the stars. We are the universe. Everything is inside of us. Everything. Like I say, the Temple of Solomon, the temple of the soul and man. The soul, the temple is the body. The soul is the soul, and the man is the mind. The temple of the soul and the mind, body, mind, and spirit. We consist of the 5 elements: air, spirit, water, earth, and fire. We consist of everything. We are the universe. We're made in God's image, which is the universe. You see? Now, everything goes back to the stars. The ancients worship the stars because the stars govern everything. They govern the systems in the body. They govern your life. This is why your zodiac is so important, your sign. Each zodiac has a specific element associated with it as well. Aries, which is the first sign, the Ram of God, which is a fire sign. Fire, first. Fire, first. F-I-R, this is etymology. The cerebrum, ram, which is in the brain. Aries, the ram, control the head, the face, and the nose upwards. So it controls the cerebrum. The Torah, which is, I'm pretty sure it's a Hebrew Bible, which is the Taurus. Tornado comes from the Taurus field. You see? Everything's inside of you. It all goes back to the Taurus field, and the Taurus field is everything. Now, like I said, 12 zodiac signs, 12 systems, 12 cranial nerves in the brain, the 12 disciples of the Bible. All symbolic. Have to read the Bible properly. Now, this center, at the center of the earth, right? This is what's stirring the ether. And the ether consists of the 4 elements. Because there's 5 elements. Spirit can be called ether. People call it spirit or ether. Ether is pure potential, pure energy. It's what connects the astral to the physical. It's the dimension between the physical realm, which we're on, and the astral. So it has pure potential. It's pure energy. This is why we say either. I either want to go there or there. It's connecting 2 scenarios. That's what the ether is. It's connecting the 2 worlds, the astral and the physical. The center is like the cosmic womb. There's a black hole in the center. This is the center of the Taurus field. This is the womb of creation. And inside of this black womb are the 5 elements, and everything's being stirred around. Everything's in motion. Light is motion. Everything's motion. Now, like I said earlier, light crystallizes into physical matter. They are the same substance. Spirit and matter are the same substance, but different variations, different aspects of the same substance. Low vibrational spirit turns into matter. High vibrational matter turns into spirit. Or light, whatever you want to call it. Matter is light crystallized. This is where we get the 7 metals from. The planets are light, specific frequencies and vibration of light. When these lights, or the planets, materialize, material metals materialize, they turn into the 7 metals. Saturn turns into lead. That's why lead is red. Saturn is red. The sun turns into gold. That's why the gold is yellow and the sun is yellow. You see, Saturn is the time god. What happens in autumn? The leaves turn red and they die. This is why Satan, time god, the reaper, everything is crystallized till it's death. and then reborn again. You see? Rust. When things rust, it turns to red. Because it's Saturn. Saturn crystallizes everything. He's the Reaper who comes around in winter. You see? He's Satan. Jesus and Satan, the Sun and Saturn. They say we live in a solar system. The solar system. I think I've already just broke this down. The 7 planets are the 7 chakras. Everyone already knows this. But I'm going through it anyway. But this is where we get the 7 planets from. And the 7 metals. You see, all the ancients knew it was an enclosed electromagnetic system. It's not a spinning ball in the middle of space, people. They want you to believe this so you get stuck in this material world. Because if you believe everything's material, you can never affect this plane effectively. You can never create your life effectively if you don't understand the planes of existence. Because the mental plane is a higher plane. And it breaks down and it controls the planes below it. The mental plane, hold on, I've got it here for you. The mental, the astral, etheric, then physical. Etheric connects the physical to the astral, but the mental is what's above them all. You see? Now, it's important to understand this. It's important. However, the ancients always talked about the enclosed system. Only NASA, which is introduced around the Roman times, not NASA, but the globe Earth was introduced around the Roman times. Okay? By these Masons. These Masons introduced this because they wanted to take over the minds of the masses and control them. These people worship the physical realm. They know how it works. They know the ins and outs of it. They know how to do the magic. They know how to do it all. They understand it all. That's why Masonry have to take the oath. The oath of not speaking. You're not allowed to speak about anything you learn about in Masonry. Because they're discovering the truth about your mind and how it creates reality and stuff like that. So this is the Masonic cosmology. The 5-pointed star, the 5 elements. The checkerboard for duality, positive and negative. The 2 aspects of every substance. This is another ancient painting depicting the firmament. The stars inside the firmament. The sun. You see, the ancients worshipped the sun because it's so important for sustaining our life. It's the only reason we're alive is because of the sun. But then people think it gives you cancer today. They brainwash you to think the sun gives you cancer when it's the #1 source of all life. They want you to believe it's a big, spinning, dangerous ball in space. It's not. It's here to give us life. It's God's Son. That's why Jesus is known as God's Son. It is the Son of God. God created that to sustain us. You see? So it's important you understand the true cosmology of where you are. Because if you don't know where you are depleted of all of your morals. You're depleted. You're demoralized. You're lost. You don't know where you are. You don't know where you exist. Okay? Once you accept the globe model, the heliocentric model, you will subconsciously think that you come from nothing. This is why they implemented the evolution theory just after the globe model was introduced by Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin came in after the globe model. He's a Mason. He was another Freemason. And implemented evolution where we came from monkeys because they want you thinking less of yourself so they can manipulate your mind. You see? They want to manipulate your mind, and they have done since you got here. Since you came through that portal, you were manipulated from that day to believe this, believe that. The true cosmology, the truth will set you free. You will understand things better. You will feel better in yourself when you know the sun is here for you. You'll feel better in yourself that you know that you didn't come from a monkey. You were created as a human, a manifester, a creator. You're so intelligent. Your mind is amazing. You can manipulate matter, mind over matter. See? Thank you all people for tuning in. Tap in with yourself. Love yourself. Find the truth. Spread the truth. Nothing dies. Nothing in this creation dies. Everything's energy. Everything's light. Light can never die. You're a light being. That's why it says Q. Q man. Q is light in Hebrew or Latin. Either one of the two. You are light. You're a light being. You never die. Ever, ever, ever die. Ever. Stop thinking you're going to die. This body will die because it contains electricity. And electricity always goes back to a standstill point because of vibration. Electricity vibrates. You are pure light. You will never ever die. Thank you all people. God bless. Make sure to like, subscribe and share. What's good people? We're back with another video. This is going to just be a quick video. Manifestation, magic, bending reality. So let's jump straight into this. So you have a conscious and a subconscious part of your mind. The conscious is what you're conscious of, what you're actually doing, where you can choose or not. However, the subconscious is the part of your brain which is automatic. So all of the systems in your body, like the digestive system, your heartbeat, these are automatically being ran. And you do not have to tell these systems to do anything. You do not have to consciously tell your heart to beat. It's automatically doing it. And this is what the subconscious mind is controlling. It's like the dark aspect of your brain or your mind. It is the way bigger aspect of your mind. Okay, it controls all the systems in your body. Okay, and this is where all of your programs are. So when you're in it from your childhood, what you've learned in school, all of these things are being kept in your subconscious, maybe traumas and stuff like that. So the subconscious is the female aspect, and the conscious is the male aspect, because the male is all about action and doing, and the female is all about creation, creativity, intuition. So you have a right and a left hemisphere of your brain, and these are obviously male and female. The right side of your brain is your female. It's to do with creativity, imagination, intuition, insight. Okay. And this is one of the most important sides of the brain. This side of the brain is the most attacked by the elites, whatever you want to call them. This side is one of the most important because obviously your intuition is a massive part of reality. And if you don't have intuition, then you lose track of the things around you. You can't consciously feel if things are wrong or right. They don't want you to have intuition or creativity or imagination. They want you in the left side of your brain, which is just reasoning, logic, and basic things. So they just want you to tell you what you want, tell you what to learn, and then that's it. They don't want you thinking for yourself, which is the right side of the brain. So whatever the conscious side of your mind impresses the subconscious side of your mind. So if you do affirmations, for example, if you consciously do affirmations every day, you're reprogramming your subconscious mind. You're impressing a vibration and a word into your subconscious mind, and therefore it will reprogram it. So the male and female aspect are symbolized by the Star of David as well. The male being the upside triangle, the female being the downside, connected all in one, because we both have male and female energy. So every thoughts are electric, which is the male aspect. Emotions are magnetic, which is the female. each thought creates a wave of vibration in all directions. So think of it like a water drop in a pool, but it going out in every single direction. It's not just flat. And these thoughts have a certain frequency, well, has a certain vibration. That vibration has a certain frequency. And this affects your aura. Every thought, every emotion directly impacts your aura and the strength of your aura. So if you're angry all the time, your aura in the astral plane will look red. However, if you're happy, it'll be more like blue and green. So it's very important. Your electromagnetic field is created out of your emotions and thoughts, and that affects reality because you're 60% water, and frequency and vibration create certain patterns and has a certain effect on water. We'll get into that after this slide. So each thought that people are thinking around you, you are actually subconsciously picking up these thoughts because it's emitting this vibration in all directions. So this is why you can pick up thoughts of other people on the odd occasion. However, when you're more in tune with your intuition, your right side of your brain, you can start to pick up on vibrations, thoughts, and other people's auras. You can pick up on the energy once your third eye is open, and you know whether you should be in that environment or not. This is what we call an atmosphere when we go into a room and you can feel the tension if someone's been arguing, for example. This is the atmosphere, this is the vibrations, these are people's auras emitting these certain frequencies and vibrations. Okay. So our aura is contained of multiple layers. Obviously, we have the physical body. This is the electromagnetic layer. However, you have the different planes of existence, the spirit, mental, astral, etheric, and then physical. The physical is the lowest plane of existence. And the physical plane is a product of all of the planes above. So the mental impresses on the astral impresses into the etheric, and then the etheric creates the physical object. So the mind is the root cause of reality. The mind is the cause of everything. Your consciousness is pure cause. There's no effect. Everything you see in this reality is the effect. Everything that you experience is the effect because the root cause was the mind. The decisions you made you experience that certain experience. And that decision was created on the mental plane. And this is just pure thoughts. And thoughts are things. If it exists in your mind, it is a thing. It's a certain frequency. So if you have a certain level of thoughts, if you're thinking positive, for example, you're going to have a strong aura, you're going to have a higher vibration. And that attracts like. Like attracts like when it comes to thoughts and vibrations and electromagnetism. So if you're thinking positive all the time, speaking positive, doing positive, you're then creating a higher vibration, and that's going to attract people on that similar frequency to you. Everything is electromagnetism, frequency, and vibration. Everything. You see, so this is why, for example, if I put my hand to a TV screen, if my finger was the same vibration as the TV screen, it would go straight through it. However, the particles in my hand and the particles on the TV screen are two separate vibrations, and this is what causes the friction to stop and not my finger to go straight through it. So, like I said, when you don't feel the vibe of someone, when you don't feel right, you don't really get along with someone, this is a vibration. Your vibrations are not matching, they're not similar, they're two complete different vibrations, and they're not aligning properly. So music has a massive part on this. Music is a massive, massive tool for the elites because music is frequency. And in 1975, the musical instrument are all tuned to 440 hertz. So Spotify, Apple Music, most of the music on YouTube is all set to 440 hertz. And 440 hertz is not divisible by 3, 6, or 9. And when you can't divide a frequency by 3, 6, or 9, it's not a natural frequency. As you can see here, this is 432 hertz. This makes a nice geometric pattern. However, 440 hertz is a distorted pattern. So when you listen to this actually shuts off the whole right side of your brain. Like I said at the start, this is the most attacked side of your brain. It's to do with creativity, imagination, intuition. When you listen to 440 hertz, it shuts off the whole right side of your brain. And obviously shutting off all of these forms of your brain. Music is a very, very powerful tool for the elites because it's the only thing which can enter your soul or your ears without consent, your body without consent. Everything else has to be through consent. You choose whether to eat something, you choose whether to drink something, but frequency, you're going to hear it no matter what. This is why it's so powerful. And music influences the body in many different ways. It's the most powerful imitator of everything. It directly affects all listeners. It directly affects intentions, gestures, movements, and actions. It stimulates your mind, and certain songs, certain catchy songs, can reprogram your subconscious mind, invoking certain emotions. This is why when you listen to slow beat songs, it makes you feel more sad. When you listen to upbeat songs, you feel more energetic. This is because these frequencies have a profound influence on reality and on how you feel. Because like I said, you are 60% water. And as you can see here, each frequency creates a different geometric pattern. And inside of you is 60% water. So like I said, 440 hertz is going to make a distorted pattern in your water. And this is going to have a profound effect on your emotions and your reality. So like I said, health is not just the body. You are made of body, mind, and spirit. You need to look after what you put in your body. You need to look after your spirit and look after your mind. It's very important to keep all these in balance because once one of these are unbalanced, it affects the other two. So if you're eating wrong, it's going to affect your spirit and mind. If you're thinking wrong, it's going to affect your body and spirit. These are all interlocked. You have to look after them all. So it's very important you understand music. Stop listening to low vibrational music. To be honest, you want to listen to music without any sort of speaking inside of it. You just want pure frequencies, which are the solfeggio scale, like one of these, for example, 432, 528 hertz. These are all good frequencies. It's called the solfeggio scale. And these frequencies make you more in tune with nature. 528 hertz is what the earth vibrates at. So it's very important. And the Rockefellers are the one who changed this to 440 hertz. The Rockefellers, one of the elite families. So if you want to manipulate reality, it's very important to have your chakras aligned and having a high vibration, because the higher your vibration, the more powerful your words and your intentions are on reality. So the lower your vibration, the harder it is to affect reality because you're on a lower state of consciousness. Like I said, you have the mental, astral, etheric, and physical. Everything is a product of the one above. As above, so below. This is what Hermes Trismegistus was saying in the Egyptian days. This is where it comes from. As above, so below. If you affect above, it directly affects below. So like I said, meditation helps on this, helps align your chakras. Think positive, feel positive. Like I said, your feelings are magnetic, your thoughts are electric. So once you combine these two together, you're then creating an electromagnetic frequency. And that will have profound effect on reality. So the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect. Every effect has the root cause. Like I said, your mind is the root cause of everything. Every decision you make is having a different effect on reality. Everything happens for a reason due to the root cause, which is your mind. You choose everything that happens in your life. Okay? So it's very important you understand this and you constantly make the right decisions, the good decisions to have good effects on your reality. You have to be very conscious of this law because nothing escapes this law. This is the law of all consciousness. So think about it. Imagine a massive ball of consciousness. However, off this ball are different sparks, and each one of these sparks are in each and everyone's body. This spark is governed by these laws, the law of cause and effect, the law of correspondence, the seven hermetic principles. It's very important to understand this because this mass ball of consciousness is what is obeying these laws. And everyone has this spark of consciousness inside their third eye. And like I said, everyone is the same consciousness. This is why if you do bad onto someone else, that will directly affect your reality. So if you hurt someone, it's going to come back to you in one way or another because you are that same consciousness. This is like a mirror reality. As within, so without. Whatever you feel on the inside, you're gonna see that on the outside. You're gonna experience that reality, whatever you've impressed. So there's different ways to bend reality to your will. This is kind of a sort of magic. So obviously you have black magic, which is manipulating reality to harm and influence others, or to be very selfish. And yeah, then you have white magic, which is manipulating reality for the good of humanity. So you do have to be very careful with your intentions, people, when you're trying to manipulate reality, because this is nothing to be played with. If you are manipulating reality for the wrong reason, it's going to come and bite you in the ass in some way or another. Because everything is balanced. Everything balances out in this reality. Nothing escapes the laws. Not one thing escapes the laws. So if you're stealing from yourself because it's just going to come back in one way or another. Inside of everyone's heart, you know whether you're doing good or wrong. You can feel it when you do something wrong. You can feel it when you do something good. The heart is the center of the Taurus field. It's balance. And this is why you say follow your heart, because it's the center of the Taurus field. It's very important to listen to this inner voice inside of you because that is telling you the right things to do, the good decisions to make. And when you keep following that voice, that good voice inside of you, it takes you to your life path. Very important to follow that voice. However, don't let the ego get in the way of it. Don't care what your friends are going to say. It's very important to understand this. So you have different ways of manipulating reality. You have sigil magic. This is where you create your own sigil or symbol. You create your own sigil and symbol, and then you charge it. You behind that symbol, you have an intention. So, for example, if you want to manifest wealth, you create a sigil which represents what you want. You create that sigil, you draw it out, you charge it because wherever your attention goes, energy flows. So whatever your attention is, you're sending energy that way. So what you do with your eyes and your hands, you place attention on the sigil. Imagine that it's glowing. Imagine that you're sending energy to the sigil, and then you burn the piece of paper once you've done this. And then after this, you meditate on that symbol. You constantly think about that symbol because that symbol is the frequency, is the thing that you want to manifest. So that's one way. Or you can just meditate on your reality. So imagine yourself having already what you have. This is what they call a mindset. You must set your mind to the frequency what you want to manifest. Okay. So if you want to manifest wealth, for example, imagine yourself being wealthy. What would it feel like? What would you be doing? Imagine a scene in your mind. Constantly do this, and you're putting out that frequency. Like I said, you must think because the thoughts are electric, and then you must feel, which is magnetic. Together, this creates an electromagnetic frequency, and this is how you attract things to you. You will attract the certain people to come in your life to bend reality to your will. Okay. Or you've got mirror magic. Stare yourself in the mirror because a mirror reflects light. It also reflects energy. So you've got to be very careful with what you say to a mirror. You've got to be very, very, very careful because whatever you send into that mirror is directly sent straight back to you. So if you're thinking negative, you're sending negative energy back straight to you, and that's going to have an effect on your reality. Affirmations are very important because your words are frequency. Your words are vibrations, and each word you say has a certain frequency. If it's positively charged, it's going to affect you positively. If it's negatively charged, because like I say, your brain and your mind is like the director of energy. That's what your brain is. And it directs energy into certain things. You can either positively charge it or negatively charge it. And this brain is creating your reality constantly. It's manifesting your reality constantly in the present moment. So this is what the government knows. The government know your mind is the root cause of reality. This is why they call themselves a government. Government. The New World Order is not being manifested by them. They are controlling the information. They are controlling your perception of this reality. And they know the mind is the root cause of reality. Therefore, if they control your perception of reality and your information, what you believe, you're going to manifest that information, that perception. So we, the people as a collective consciousness, are the ones manifesting this New World Order. You see, so this isn't black magic. They're actually tricking us into manifesting their own their plans, this New World Order. You see, this is how smart these people are. They know how to get around the laws of reality. They know how to bend reality to their will without facing the consequences. They're getting humanity to do it. You see, there is a collective consciousness. As like I said, we all have that same spark of consciousness, right? So as a collective consciousness, we are on a very low vibration at the moment. However, we are waking up rapidly. There are more and more people waking up at the moment, and light always chases away the shadow. Light is a lot more powerful than darkness, you see. So one person waking up has a massive effect than one person being asleep. It has a profound effect. Because like I say, the light always chases away the darkness. It's more powerful. The light is always more powerful. High vibrations are more powerful than lower. So that's it for this, people. I hope you all enjoyed. This is a short, quick video. God bless you all.
Welcome to Revival of Wisdom.
What is good, people? Is Revival of Wisdom. We're back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of Saturn and the occult. Let's jump straight into this. So Saturn is the god of the earth, right? It's the time of God, change, destruction, physical matter. He creates and destroys, because the energy of Saturn is the key to crystallization. It wraps things in physical matter, right? He creates everything, all life forms, and he takes things back, because the day that you're born, that's the day that your expiry date is coming. The time is ticking until Saturn takes your life. This is why he's known as the Reaper. Okay? As he's personified as eating his child here in this ancient Roman painting. As you can see, he's eating the child. We are all children of Saturn, right? He creates physical matter, our physical bodies, right? He's the god of time because he's the slowest moving celestial body. He's the Lord of the Rings, as you can see here. He's the last one on the ring. He's the slowest one moving, okay? So he is the Lord of time, destruction and creation, okay? This is why his name is Satan. He's the devil, okay? But I'm not saying Saturn's evil, guys. It's a part of life. Everything lives and dies, right? He's the key to crystallization. Now, as we have the clock here, our god Saturn, or Chronos in Greek, just means time. He's also the god of time, as I've already said. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day. Add 2 plus 4 equals 6. 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 2 plus 4 equals 6. That's 666. Okay. And as you see on the clock, 6 take away 12 equals 6. 7 take away 1 equals 6. 9 take away 3 equals 6. 6 is the number of Saturn. It's associated with Saturn, right? He's the god of time, of justice. Everything goes back to the Reaper in the end. Everything lives and dies. Now, the artwork of him, he's always got the Reaper staff. You see, it's personifying death. Now, when you see this, the Romans were not saying Saturn was a real person, a real god in human form. No, this is personification. This is what the ancients always did. They personified, just like the Bible. It's all personification. So the personifying Saturn eating its children because it eats, it's the Reaper. No one can escape the Reaper. No one can escape death. Now, Saturn is 666, which is in the Bible, the number of the beast, right? The number of the beast, Satan, 666, right? So on the North Pole of Saturn, you have a hexagon which makes a cube, right? Now this hexagon, when you join up all the corners, creates the 6-pointed star known as the Star of David, right? In the Jewish religion. Now, as you can see, the 6-pointed star has 6 points, 6 mini triangles, and a 6-sided hexagon. That makes 666. And also, you have Saturday is named after Saturn, the 6th planet, the 6th day of the week, and has a 6-sided polygon in its north pole. That's also 666. Now, this Star of David, this symbol goes back thousands of years, and it originates from Saturn. It's not the Star of David, right? It originates from Saturn. It symbolizes the physical and spiritual aspect combined into one, which makes us humans, right? Also symbolizes the male and female combined into one. These two sacred energies create the human. We consist of both male and female energy, also known as the Seal of Solomon. And we all know if Solomon was a real person, he talks about communicating with 72 demons. He could apparently, in the text, he could communicate with 72 demons, and this is sorcery. This is black magic. Now, this symbol is associated with hexing people. When you place a hex on someone, that is a form of witchcraft, which a hex is just a curse. When you're cursing someone, this is black magic. Now, the black magician would stand in the middle of the symbol and cast his spells onto other people. Now, this symbol is obviously on the $1 bill, twice on the $1 bill. And it's very, very ancient symbol. And it originates from Saturn. And let's keep going. So the cube. So I've just said how you see the cube on the North Pole of Saturn, right? The cube is limited. It's a 3D shape. It symbolizes limitations to the physical 3D dimension, the third dimension, the physical realm which we are in. Now, as you can see, the color associated with Saturn is black, right? Black is infinite potential. Black is the creation of all things before there was light. Light is born out of blackness, darkness, okay? Now, black is physical matter. And as you can see, the black cube, black symbolizing physical matter, the cube being limited as the physical realm that we are in is limited. It's not like the fourth dimension where everything can exist in a thought. The third dimension is limited, right? And this is what Saturn is. It limits you to the 3D 666. Your body limits you to your physical body. Now, these black cubes are placed everywhere, as you can see: Australia, Denmark, Manhattan. There's one in New York. As you can see, the Apple have a cube. The Nintendo GameCube, Trump Towers, a black cube. This is worshipping the energy of Saturn, the god Saturn. Okay, it's not a god; it's a celestial energy. However, it rules over Earth because it pretty much created the physical realm. Now, as you see, when you go to a funeral, you wear black, a black suit symbolizing Saturn, which is the color associated, black. And as you see in Mecca, they walk around the black cube in rings. As you can see here, they're stood around in rings, like the rings of Saturn. The Mercedes symbol. You probably wouldn't notice that, but yes, it's Saturn. And when you graduate from university, you wear a black cube on your head. This is all symbolizing Saturn. Okay. Now, as you can see, the Jews here have a black cube on their third eye whilst they pray. Notice how he's shutting his eyes into blackness, darkness, and he's wrapped around a black strap around his arm. This is symbolizing the wrapping of physical matter, of how physical matter wraps things into existence. And as we all know, the Star of David is a Jewish symbol. So he has the black cube and the Star of David, right? So all of these religions are secretly worshipping Saturn. Okay, this is all Saturn worship, Kronos, the god of time and destruction, the physical reality. Now, as you can see, it's symbolized everywhere in all major corporations. Pepsi, internet, that's obvious. NASA, of course, NASA. NASA means to deceive in Hebrew. Universal, Walkers, that one's so obvious. Nike, Toyota. So many different ways they symbolize it. You either see the rings of Saturn or the black cube, as I just showed you here, the Nintendo and the Mercedes, right? It's absolutely everywhere. Now, they also use 666 to symbolize it, as I've just broken it down to you. 666, the World Economic Forum. We all know how they're trying to enslave us into this new world agenda. Google Chrome, CERN, Disney, Coca-Cola, Cadbury's, all of these have 666. Now, every UPS barcode has 666. And even www. Is Hebrew for 666, as you can see here. Monster. It's the same Hebrew letter that means 666. Drake, 6 God. That's his God, Saturn. Why? Because they love physical realm. They love the physical dimension, the third dimension. Because they can rule here through riches. They can build an empire here. It's not like the fourth dimension. They don't want to ascend. They want to stay down here in the physical realm. Okay? Now, this is why they're cloning. They can move their consciousness into other clones to live forever. This technology exists. This is why they love the third dimension. As you can see, all of these sellouts here, Drake, Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, all of these people doing 666 because this is their God. This is their God. They love the physical realm. They sold their souls for wealth and fame in this physical realm. So why would they leave? You see? Now, this isn't all just evil, okay? So you have 7 chakras, right? You have 7 days of the week, 7 solfeggio scale notes. These are frequencies, the solfeggio scale. Now, it's called the Saturn moon matrix because the moon symbolizes your mind, because you're created out of the Holy Trinity, which is body, mind, and spirit, right? That's the triangle, the equal triangle, body, mind, and spirit. Now, the 3 main celestial bodies are Earth, Moon, and Sun. The Earth being your physical body, the Moon being your mind, and the Sun is your soul, hence why it's called solar. It's a solar soul. Now, these symbols are alchemical symbols. So when you're doing alchemy, you use these symbols to obviously symbolize what we're talking about. Now, as you can see, these are all the symbols of the planets. Of Saturn is created out of the moon on top, the moon on the bottom and the earth on top, as you can see here. You see? And this creates the number 5. Now, with the moon being your mind and the earth being your physical body, this is mind over matter, because the earth is your body's matter. This is matter over mind. You don't want to be matter over mind. This is low states of consciousness. You won't be mind over matter. You see, to manipulate matter, to create your own reality. Now, obviously, we all know Saturn is associated with the lowest chakra, which is the root chakra. This is to deal with your animal instincts. When you're down here, you identify as the physical body. You don't know anything spiritual. You're you have a pure physical mind. You don't believe in anything spiritual. This is survival mode, consumption. They want you trapped down here, which is matter over mind. They don't want you to create your own reality, which is mind over matter. You see? Now, that's what Jupiter is. Saturn is the moon on the bottom and the earth on top. But Jupiter is the moon on top with the earth on the bottom. That's mind over matter, you see? So, these chakras are an ascension process from matter, physical matter to spiritual. This is the ascension. This is the stairway to heaven. This is Jacob's ladder. You see? Now, the number 5, which is obviously associated with Saturn as well, which create the symbol for Saturn, created the number 5. You have 5 senses, 5 elements, 5 physical elements. As we all know, Saturn crystallizes everything into physical matter out of the 4 elements. 5 fingers and toes, 5 points of man. Okay, the number 5 is the number of justice. Saturn holds things back. He restrains things from you, makes you learn the lesson. Now, 666 is not all evil. 666 is the atomic structure of the carbon atom. 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, right? We are carbon-based life forms. All life forms are based on the bonding properties of the element carbon. Because Saturn crystallizes everything into physical matter. Now, the Masons symbolize this with the checkered boards. They have the black square, which is obviously matter. As I just said, the black cube. And spirit is the white square. Because white is eternal light. White and light. You see? Black is physical matter. Now, this is what we are. The point of our soul is to transmute from matter to spirit. But these are interchangeable. This is the constant cycle between spirit and matter, spirit and matter. High vibrational matter turns into spirit. low vibrational spirit turns into physical matter. You see? Now, we are carbon-based life forms. This is what 666 is, the number of the beast. Well, when I say we, the physical body is the beast. It's the animal. It's the carbon suit to operate in this physical dimension, in this physical realm. See? It's the vehicle used to operate in this physical realm. But your mind isn't from this physical realm, you see? The brain is the physical manifestation of the soul. Okay? So, as you can see here, the spine is an extension of the brain. Everything goes back to the brain. This is literally what your physical body is. You see, this is the nervous system, and everything reports back to the brain, and everything's controlled from this control center. And this spinal column, at the top of the spinal column, is your third eye, which is known as the pineal gland. And this is the seat of consciousness. It's the center of consciousness. That is your true self, pure consciousness. This body is just a physical body. This body is mortal. This body runs out, but your consciousness lives forever. They don't want you knowing this. This is why they keep you down here in your lower chakra. They want you to believe everything is just physical. They don't want you to believe in the spiritual side of reality. Because this way they can manipulate you, right? They want you matter over mind because they know your mind creates reality. They know your mind is the root cause of reality. You manifest your own reality from the inside out. So this is why they control your perception of reality. They control your information in order to manifest their new world order. You, who are ignorant to knowledge and wisdom, you who are ignorant are manifesting their agenda because you accept their information and their perception of this reality. Now, this is why they tell you the globe model, the heliocentric model, to trap you into physical matter. Now, if you understood about this true form of this realm, you'd understand that there's a spiritual side behind everything. The spiritual side, something has to exist. The root cause of reality is higher planes of existence. It happens in the mind before it happens on the physical plane. You see? They don't want you knowing this. They want you matter over mind, which is the symbol for Saturn. Moon over Earth. The Holy Trinity. Now, as you can see, the cube also makes IXXI. This is Roman numerals. This is Roman numerals, and when it's translated from 9/11. Yes, 9/11. This is the secret code of the One World Order. The two twin towers, when the two become one. Okay, when the two become one, this is how you reach the higher states of consciousness, the physical and spiritual. Now, as you can see, the 9/11 memorial are two black cubes. It's two black cubes. This is all Saturn worship. Now, I'm not saying that Saturn is an evil celestial body, right? No, everything has a good side and a bad side, right? It's duality. The spirits of Saturn on the dark side are the most evil demonic spirits. Now, these are the spirits that these are invoking through these rituals, right? Yes, 9/11 was a massive ritual. It's a satanic ritual, okay? Now, we all know Elon Musk. Elon Musk is coming with the mark of the beast. In English gematria, this equals 666, right? 666, as I said, is the number of the beast. You are the beast, your physical body. You see how the Bible twisted things up to make things more confusing, right? But it's there. You just have to have the knowledge to be able to read the Bible properly. As we all know, we had this virus. I'm not going to say the name because I'll get flagged. This virus adds up to 666 because this is all part of the New World Order. It's all part of keeping you in this physical dimension. Okay, now as you can see here, Novus Ordo Secularum on the back of his shirt, on Elon Musk's shirt. This is also on the $1 bill, Novus Ordo Secularum. This means New World Order. Yes, New World Order. This is on the back of Elon Musk's shirt. And as you can see here, he owns Neuralink, which is the brain chip, which they're going to be putting into implanting this onto your brain. This is the New World Order to connect you and merge your consciousness with AI. Neuralink and Meta, he owns Meta as well, which is the metaverse. These are going to be linked in, hence why they have the same symbol, but just in a different format. It's the infinity symbol. And the infinity symbol comes from the Taurus field, as you can see here, your electromagnetic field from around your body. Now, the end goal is for this New World Order is to trap your consciousness inside of an alternative reality being projected from the metaverse. Because the metaverse will be the reality, Neuralink will be the brain chip inside of your brain, projecting your consciousness into an alternative reality while they harness your energy of your physical 666 body. Now, this stuff gets real deep, people. Now, this is the end goal of the New World Order, is to connect you with AI. This is why they're trapping you and keeping you in these lower states of consciousness in a Saturn-associated root chakra, so you don't find out about the spiritual side of reality. Because if you knew the truth of this reality, you wouldn't connect to AI. You see, you have the power within you to travel to other worlds, the astral plane, for example. You travel to different worlds when you are sleeping. Okay? They want you to know it's just a dream. However, their end goal is to trap your consciousness and feed off your energy, spiritually and physically. Okay? I don't know why these people are just pure evil. As I said, evil love bondage. They love the physical dimension. They don't want to ascend to other realms. These evil love the third dimension. This is why evil spirits will inhabit bodies, exorcisms, because they miss being in the physical realm. They miss it. Evil love bondage. So this is why they're cloning and putting their consciousness in clones to stay in this third dimension, to stay as further away from the source as possible. Okay? This is why they're doing it. And this is how it's all linked in. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you gained some wisdom. Please feel free to join the Telegram. And please leave a like and a subscribe. Thank you all, people. God bless.
So this is known as the bag of the gods. This symbolism is widely known, but no one knows what it truly symbolizes. We see this in ancient Sumerian artwork. We see this in the Mayans' artwork. We always see this bag with the gods. What does this actually represent? Okay, so the bag itself represents carrying. Carrying what? It represents information, it represents knowledge. Your mind is the carrier of the information. So this is why in his left hand, he carries the bag, and the right hand has the pine cone. This represents carrying of information. Why is it a bag? A bag can be passed on to someone else. The information can be taught to someone else. This is the information of activation of the pineal gland or higher consciousness of humans. Because as humans, we all possess an animal nature, the nature that tells us to eat, to steal, to gain material wealth, to survive, to hate. This is our animal self. This is our animal behavior. But we also have a divine nature of consciousness, which we have access to, the higher planes of consciousness, the planes that manipulate this material world and create all things in this material world. The human mind has access to. The animal does not. The animal has no idea he exists. The animal has no inner dialogue, but humans have the inner dialogue. Humans can create infinitely. We can expand our minds infinitely into new realms of thought. So we have this higher divine nature and a lower nature. This bag of the gods is basically